I love abortions. Just fucking get rid of all these pieces of shit. Fucking kids that are going to amount to nothing.
I love abortion.
I love the
That's
fucking...
a great platform to run under.
Oh, the first doctor that performed the first abortion should have a statue built to him. Man, with just the fucking goo in his hands. Fucking poor guy's got to figure out how to chisel marble into goop.
Yeah. or no, you just have the guy, he's holding a little teeny baby Tootsie over a fucking a marble glad bag. And he's smiling, and the mother is frowning, and the father is doing a jumping jack in the air with his hands up. Yay!
Perfect statue. Oh, who doesn't love a good abortion? Yeah. Oh, man.
1,000 dumbbells stopped.
Yes. Worthless fucking 1,000 fucking just burdens.
I do like shifting from pro-choice to just pro-abortion.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to...
It's not pro-choice.
Abortions for everyone.
Pro-abortion. I'm not pro-choice. I'm pro-abortion.
And you know what? Pro-life people are also anti-abortion. Just say the word.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to say the word.
They don't want it. It's a dirty word.
They're all fucking
we're
cowards.
Pro-life. No,
Who isn't?
Anti-abortion.
Yeah.
I like life. I'm here.
Yeah. Well, likes a little life, but boy, get those abortion. We're just chatting about abortions there, Mr. Burr. I'm pro-abortion. I love the fact that people can get them, they get them, and it's less fucking burdens walking around this planet that are going to cash $2,500 lottery tickets using my identification, and now I'm liable for the taxes on it. Cocksucking Philly cunts.
Did you get mugged by a baby?
No. No, but I'm sure that guy that was cashing that lottery ticket, if he was an aborted baby.
Do you wish he had been aborted?
I wish his mother, not even an abortion. I wish her fucking husband or baby daddy before he obviously left, kicked that mother in the stomach. And he fell out like so much fucking jello.
So you almost said like so many nickels and dimes.
Like so many nickels and dimes.
Well, how about that fucking abortion doctor in Philly that was just doing the horrible ones? You know what I mean? Like he would just, pinch a girl's nose and pull the kid out. It was horrendous.
Hold your breath.
Leaving arms in the pussy. He was a terrible guy.
Oh, yeah, you can't leave anything behind.
Terrible.
Got to get it all out. Yeah, some guy fucking used, and this is going back 2009. And it was all dealt with. I went to the police and had people look. I looked at the surveillance tape. They were asking me, do you know who this is? I'm like, no. He's just some fucking skill dirtbag Philly cocksucker using my ID. He had two. Wow, what a luckiest guy ever. He buys 2 lottery tickets, and they both win for $2,500. The max you're allowed to cash in every day in Philly, in Pennsylvania lottery. He's got his picture with my name and address on it. Doesn't have my social security number, though. And goes to the counter, and without, the proper social security number and ID, and it's from New York and everything, the person cashes the other idiot behind the counter cashes it 2 days in a row, $2,500.
Oh, and then they tax you.
So now I get audited. My 2009 return now is getting shit on.
How do you think they got your ID?
I don't know. It's not hard to get. It's in this day and age.
Could you do it through? Do you think people have connections in DMV, like in motor vehicles, and they kind of
shit like that? There's plenty of computers. Believe me, you find anything. You'll find anything.
Do you do a lot of stuff online where you swipe your credit card?
No, I don't swipe it on my computer.
Do you hold your driver's license up during your radio program?
No.
In the compound?
No, don't do that at all. Hold it up to the camera. Hey, check this out. Snap a picture. Screen cap this. No, they used a fake ID with his picture, and they chose my fucking name and address. And
so when they bust this guy, they didn't try to do some sort of paper trail to
bust the fucking guy. He was on surveillance tape, but he's first of all, he looks like 80 other skells that day that were performing some kind of fucking bullshit.
Did he rip you off in 1940?
Yeah.
He spelled skell.
Oh, love that word.
The most interesting part of this story is that when you win the lottery in Philly, it's $5,000.
Yeah, $5,000.
They don't have one of those bigger ones where maybe you could get yourself a bungalow?
Well, good thing they didn't. I'd owe taxes on $1 million.
No, you wouldn't have.
So they say now that I owe taxes on that. But now it's not even that.
Yeah, but you're going to say
that.
this isn't me.
Yeah, but that's just it. Now I have to go and get the police report from the cops. I got to deal with people. I got to fucking send it to an IRS agent that only wants to fuck me over. So now he's got.
Hey, you can't serve two masters here, Anthony. You're all about technology, you know. And if you don't want this shit to happen,
but I'm anti-tax and anti-government.
We got to go back the other way.
Which way?
Okay, you with your iPad and all your little doodads. You were asking for it.
I was just putting too much trust in the system on the grid.
Yeah, you know what's the funniest one is people who bank online. You're out of your fucking mind.
I do bank online.
But it doesn't even matter because I don't, but all my information's on there anyways, just in case I want to. It's like, dude, is it even my fucking money? Is it even my money? Can I make that decision?
Yeah, you can.
Fucking assholes. And they're like the major, like the corporations and shit. They're just like your parents trying to bust you for the latest drugs. Like, they have no idea.
Yeah.
Is that the wacky tobacco? That's them trying to stop hackers. Hackers are like 10 years in the future on those guys.
What
if
are
they
you
want to
doing?
get your stuff, they can get it. That's why I don't mind banking online, because they get through bank security. Like, if they want it, they're going to get it. It's like they can get through the fucking Bank of America or Chase. They can get through.
Insured. I mean,
yeah,
it's like any other.
And they will be able to
operate.
Yeah, insurance. That's a great thing to
You don't like the FDIC?
It is until it isn't.
Until it isn't.
That's how that shit works.
What do you?
I have hurricane insurance. Yeah, listen, too many people in your neighborhood get their houses knocked down. Go fuck yourself. Sue us.
Bill's sleeping on a mattress full of cash.
But I paid the premium. Go fuck yourself there, Drowny.
It's what we call an act of God that we don't cover. Sorry. But I was paying the premiums.
All of it's that. All of it's
that. Thank you for that. Thank you for being a loyal customer for this many years.
Hey, if you got frequent flyer miles, you got till Tuesday to use them.
Yeah.
But those were mine. Go fuck yourself.
That's the biggest scam ever with the airlines.
All of it.
Yeah.
Nothing is insured. You just hope it is. They just tell you, dude, the two biggest banks in two biggest buildings in every fucking city is going to be a bank and an insurance company. They don't get that way by giving you any fucking money. It's the dumbest shit. We all work our asses off, and at the end of the week, you're picturing you're giving it to a bank. You're giving it to other people. They're criminals. They're fucking counterfeiters. They fucking screwed up the entire economy, and they gave them the houses back to do it all over again. It's hilarious.
And you give them your money.
Yeah, it's like that guy who fucked you over.
Yeah,
who just fucked you over. Okay. Yeah. And you clear everything up, and then next week, would you give him your driver's license?
No.
Yes. Well, that's basically, as far as my little intelligence on this, as far as I can tell, the same guy's got the houses right back again. Now, you guys better not do that again.
There's no recourse for the people anymore.
But you can get, dude, if you argue right, you can get what you want. When I went into the bank, and I was telling before you came in about a problem I had when I closed out my mortgage and they applied the wrong payment wrong, and I knew I wasn't going to get them another $1,000, and they fucking wanted $1,000 out of it. And
because you're running off the plantation.
But I went in and I sat there with the fucking bank manager, and we got the people on the phone and made them do the research. And if you are willing to sit there and fucking go back and forth with them, they'll usually. Because as much as they don't care about you or your fucking money, like government contractors, they also don't have enough invested to fuck you because the guy you're talking to is not the one making the profit.
So how long did you have to sit there and beg them not to steal from you?
I was.
I want to hear this feel-good story. How many people did you have to talk to before they didn't try to
I didn't beg
turn
them.
you upside down? I'm not giving you shit. I'm talking about how you paid off the fucking mortgage.
Yes.
Upstanding citizen right here. Goddamn American flag flying right behind him.
Yeah.
Right? And then you still have to go in there and beg them not to steal another $1,000.
Right. But it wasn't. I tell you what it was. It was absolute incompetence because I had the bank manager on my side. Like this was done online. Like not online on the phone.
Has the incompetence ever worked in your favor? That's what I want to know. Did they ever accidentally fuck up and give you a grand?
We were talking about that and how if that happens, they always catch that one.
Yep.
And they'll be on it going, letting you know what date, the time of day you came in, and they handed you too much money.
They were taking an extra $50 out of my account for fucking years. It's something when I moved to L.A., I had this account, and I just left a little bit of money in something. So, like an asshole, I wasn't paying attention. But then I finally caught them. And they've been doing it for like a year and a half. And then when I call them, they go, "Yeah, we're sorry, sir. Our records only go back 3 months."
Really?
It's like, really? You're holding on to millions and millions of dollars here, and you can't
3 months of records.
You can't tell me what happened in March.
Yeah.
So then I had to go through all that bullshit, and
They try to wear you down to where you just say, fuck it.
But you will get what you want. And I tell you, the fucking bank manager, he was actually, the location guy was great because he knew I was right. He goes, he talked to them and they did the fucking thing. She told me what they had done. They had applied it to escrow. I probably would have wound up getting it back anyway because they refund your escrow. But it was just the idea that they couldn't just immediately cross-reference on the computer and see what happened. It's like, you fucking lying motherfuckers. Because again, if you give me too much money, you immediately know where that money went.
Day they'll
Always.
know. We gave that guy too much money. Let's check on the computer. Yeah,
get down here by 11 before we charge you with the crime.
Yeah.
AT&T was charging me when I went to Montreal last year. They were charging me because I got the package international thing, so you don't get raped on the fucking thing.
On the roaming.
And I remember taking it off for a year because again, like you, I wasn't paying attention. They were charging me, so they just refunded me over $1,000 fucking dollars. Because I said I want interest too. I want all the taxes I paid.
Wow.
I think I said the taxes on the interest. The taxes I paid on that money, everything back, and they gave it back to me. Over $1,000. If you're adamant enough with them, and you know what you're talking about, they will almost always, if you're right, give you back.
If I can keep myself calm, I just use the magic word unacceptable.
Dude,
that's unacceptable.
Yes,
unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
And you can't lose your mind. You can't curse.
No.
So what they do is, I think that they're trying to make you mad. So you curse and then
they go,
sir, yeah, we can't.
Sir.
I can't listen to that language, and they hang.
I shan't. Yeah.
You got to
Unacceptable.
go all the way back to start.
I use that in the bank. I was on a speakerphone with the bank manager, and I said that's absolutely unacceptable. I said unacceptable about 30 times. Exactly the word I used.
You know,
Absolutely.
Completely unacceptable.
You know how they have the Geek Squad for computers? They should have like the Geek Squad for something like that. To complain and be able to keep you cool and just be a bunch of old people from the greatest generation. It's absolutely ridiculous. And they just fight for you and they just
fight for you. Yeah. Yeah, they're like your proxy.
Well,
they just get on the phone.
Well, good night.
Well, you have a lot of moxie, don't you?
My hands hurt. Just finally, just get her out of here. Give them 10%.
I don't like going through the bullshit you have to go through. Like Bill said, so they don't hang you upside down and shake you down. It's your burden of proof. Now you got to go up there. They're the ones with all the information.
If you fuck up, if they fucked up and gave you extra money, that shit, if you didn't spend the money, would be out of your account immediately.
Yeah.
But if there's a fuck up on their end, I mean, that's going to be 4 business days.
Yeah, and we have to. Do you have the form or any record of the?
I'm sorry, sir. This has to be processed in Saskatchewan.
You're the bank. You're the one with all the paperwork and everything like that. Why do I have to come up with shit and bring it to you? It's in your building somewhere or in your computer.
I understand that you're upset, but this is just
fuck
the
you.
way.
Click.
And you know what helps though? Do you know what helps too in those situations where I'm furious and I'll say to the person, look, I know this. I'm not saying I know this is not your fault. This is not your doing. A lot of times because they're a person just being yelled at.
And they go, no, it is. But I was the one personally
we're actually
that
stealing
fucked you
from
over.
you.
Yes, you caught me.
But no, that actually helps a lot because that makes the person want to help you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because then they know that it's being screamed at by some maniac. You're like, they're like, I understand your frustration. Because most of the people you're talking to, you're not talking to the head of the bank that got the $1 million bailout. Most people you talk to are consumers like you are.
Just working
and they
Joes.
do. As much as they don't want to help you, they do understand they've been in your shoes with another company before.
Yeah.
So if you handle them right, a lot of times you'll get what you want without as much hassle as you think.
My thing is if I know I'm already fucked, then I can give myself a halftime speech or a pregame speech before I get in there, not to lose my shit. But I am so bad in the moment. I immediately go, "Oh, sir, you don't have the phone." What the fuck you mean? I don't like I immediately. And then by the time I calm down and then try to go the route Jim's saying, I'm just like, it's over. Everybody already hates me at the bank.
Yeah.
But there's a fear with it, though. There's a fear and an overwhelming feeling. In something like a bank, it's like when you go into the Bank of America or Chase, it's like this overwhelming, I can't comprehend how it works. It's too big for me. And it feels scary. So I'm going in with a weird, I can't beat this. It's like fighting City Hall.
Yeah.
And I think that somehow they're right. Deep down, I've fucked up and it's beyond control. And I can never fix it. I can never get it back.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of times you can. It's not as hard as you think because you're dealing with just average fucking dumb motherfuckers.
I was having a hard time fucking like sleeping last night because I kept popping in my head this fucking issue that I got to deal with.
It becomes
now.
overwhelming, but it's not.
I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, but it is, and you know,
Dude, it could have been way worse.
Oh, I know.
Could have been way fucking worse.
But the thing is, like, I know me and you go back and forth a lot, but there's so many things I truly
that we're
agree
agreeing
with you. Yes, and then we realize we're agreeing. Yeah. We've reached a point where the people aren't big enough to do anything anymore about, like, it used to be the old days, the townsfolk in fucking Sleepy Eye, there were Little House on the Prairie people would go to the bank. They'd all get together and go, "Hey, is the bank treating you like?" Yeah, me too. They're fucking, and they'd all march to the bank and go, "Hey, asshole, you're doing this to all our people," and they'd be like, "All right, now, townsfolk, settle down. We'll take care of the problem." Now we've let it get to the point where there's no direct person of accountability. There's a board.
Yeah,
there's shareholders. There's always
insulated.
this thing, this entity that has to be dealt with. It's like, well, we only answer to our shareholders. Well, the board had to discuss this, and then you're like, who's the guy? And then you realize there's not a guy; it's a thing.
Yeah,
and a person can't fight a thing. You just have to kind of go along, and then it became too big and monolithic. So now you're just at its mercy.
Do you send emails? If you go to a corporation like that, like
Where is that
any
going?
of them? No. I had one recently with Continental, and I found out the emails of the corporate officers and the president, and you CC everybody, and you let them all see that you've CC'd the other officers, and then they know that everybody has read this, and you would be fucking surprised. They always get back to you.
Yeah, they'll get back to you, but the amount of shit that you have to go through just to be treated like a human being. That's the thing. I get indignant. Like, I shouldn't have to go through this. And
yes.
I don't know. I had one time when they charged me like $30 to check a bag. And then they ended up, I stood downstairs for like, I don't know, for like an hour and a half before the thing finally came out, because they run a skeleton crew on Sundays or some shit. So there's like 4 guys unloading like 20 planes. So I walked in, I said I wanted a refund. Of course, they couldn't do it there. I had to go through the whole thing on the website. And just for some reason that day, I was just determined. I was just like, I'm not going to stop.
I'm following through.
I just felt like they were on the ceiling watching me. Going, Jesus Christ, the son of a bitch won't quit.
He's not stopping.
Yeah, let's give him another 100 yards of shit. Let's see if he'll crawl through it. He's still crawling.
Yeah, why would it cost you the same amount of money for the shitty service? Which, by the way, the $30 a bag thing is ridiculous.
It's disgusting.
It's like, what? But shouldn't that price be based on the service now? They gotta come up. They can't just be like, "Hey, by the way, we're just taking $30 from you. We're shaking you down." It doesn't matter if your bag comes out within 5 minutes or 2 hours. It doesn't come out at all.
Yeah, that's why. Well, that's why I try to go to small businesses as much as you can, because they're still going to have that. The customer is always right, kind of thing.
Where do you find that?
When you got to go to somebody who individually owns a business. And what I like about individually owned businesses is there's a justice, because I'm not saying all individually owned businesses are great, but if you walk in and they suck, you're like, well, fuck you, I'm not coming back, and they go out of business.
But they can't afford
you can
that.
affect them.
You can't say, well, go fuck yourself, American Airlines, and they'll be like, hey, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
Well,
we got 90 guys on standby.
Yeah. Fuck. Bill Burr said, all right, mothball the planes.
Yeah.
Mothball the fleet. We can't go on.
It's like quitting the NFL. I don't like my car. I'm going, all right, we got 9 million people. Take your spot.
If you have an Amex, make sure you fucking change your miles over, too, because a lot of times with Continental, and they're not as good with American Airlines anymore, so I had a lot of miles that Kenny told me I had to do by September. So check your fucking credit cards. You're going to lose your miles.
Really?
If you have Amex, make sure you put them in an airline. But it's a contract, I guess, that's running out.
I did that with United. United, I'm flying them for years. They called me up out of nowhere, said I had like a certain amount of days to use my miles.
Oh yeah, United stinks for that, right?
Yes. So I called them up, and I told them, I go, I don't like being threatened. That's what I said. They said, what? We're not threatening you. I go, yes, you are. Like, you're telling me that if I don't use these miles by such and such date, I'm going to lose them.
That's a
I don't
threat.
like being threatened. I said, you know what? Take them. Take them now. I don't need, just don't call me up and fucking send me a letter threatening me, forcing me to go to Orlando or some shit that I don't want to do.
Does United miles run out? I think they do. And now Continental's probably going to have the same thing. I think United sucks.
I'm sure any way they could fuck you over, they
all
will.
Suck.
Yeah.
You can never get the upgrades. They really are terrible with the miles. It's like, then don't have those programs if you're not going to honor them.
When you think back in the the day of the pillow and the blanket they'd bring you, and like flying was an event. It was like, oh, and the
people dressed up. The stewardesses were hot. You could say stewardess.
Yeah,
Remember
you
that?
could call them stewardesses. They were all girls. It wasn't some gay guy at the front of the plane. And they had little skirts on, and they were there at your beck and call with a smile and shit. And now it's just they're belligerent. They don't want to fucking be there and deal with it. They're all old bags because they couldn't fire them because they got old.
Listen to this. My girl's mom used to fly for Pan Am.
Jesus. Pan American.
And she told me
the Clipper to Japan.
She told me in the 70s. She was just telling these like the stuff that you could like people getting drunk and all these crazy stories. And then she said, yeah, in like the mid 70s, like, and she was probably like 25, prime of her life. They had hot pants with basically, the hooker boots on.
Yeah.
And she goes, we were killing them when we were walking through the airport. I was just like, what did happen in those days?
Just a fucking gaggle of sexy stews walking through the airport.
And when was stewardess? When did that become almost like a racial slur?
Oh yeah, you're calling
calling
her a cunt. You might as well just be calling her cunt.
What is wrong with the word stewardess?
No, we're flight attendants. Because stewardess became synonymous with the short skirt, the boots, the fucking big tits, young girl that's just bending over. Her ass is in the other guy's face, like next. You'd go to the guy next to you and you go, could you order something so I could see the girls? I'll pay for it.
You know what's funny about that is they just kept the stewardesses the same way the Price is Right kept those three girls until they became like 60.
Yeah. They just have the same stewardesses. From the 70s, yeah.
But steward is not a taboo word. It is weird why anything with gender involvement.
It's gender involvement, too.
Waitress
that
became.
Sucks.
They do it in comedy clubs, too. Your wait staff.
Server. I'll be your server. What?
Nothing with gender.
You're a waitress. Shut up.
Unless it's a phony empowerment.
Yeah.
Then they want to use gender. It's the same way people use race or religion. When it's a phony empowerment, they're comfortable using it.
Yeah.
When it's anything that identifies their job, they think it's negative.
Yeah, that used to have men or man at the end, and you'd have to put woman at the end. Then they.
I think server is more condescending. That's somewhere between waitress and slave.
Yeah, slave. Yeah.
It's like I guarantee you somebody who goes to a Columbia women's class, women empowerment, would be offended by the word stewardess.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's fine for you to be in a gender-obsessed course.
Oh, is this the one, Maggie? Yeah, this is great. Turn the volume up on this. Go back to the beginning. This is National Airlines, one of their commercials from the 70s. Ultra swank.
Oh, I wish I'd lived back then.
You did.
I'm Maggie. Fly me to New York. You'll love my 2 747s to Kennedy. Fly me.
You'll love my 2 747s. Fly Maggie. And Maggie's like, she did that sexy thing with her head at the end.
Yeah.
It was all, like, that was part of the fucking experience.
How great would it be if the camera pulled back and she was truncated? She had no arms or legs in a wheelchair. Wouldn't that be the greatest commercial of all time? And you realize her body was shaped like a plane? You're like, oh, I get it.
Did you hear that right before you played that guy? I wish I lived back then. And Norton goes, you did. Old enough to be able to do something about that.
Yeah. I remember being a kid, like, flying to California to see my dad and shit like that. And that's when I saw that kind of shit. But
it was something to aspire to. Those people in first class, there was a party up there.
It was and it was known as a party. Now it's like, that's why first class became this thing that was like, whoa, first class, that's cool. Now it's just, all right, I get a bigger seat, but I'm still dealing with fucking assholes and flight attendants.
I was on there one time, and you know that shit when you're in back with all the animals, and they go, we have a limited amount of breakfasts. Your choices today are an egg omelet or a handful of bran, and you're like in row 36, and everybody's like, I'll have the omelet, I'll have the omelet, I'll have the omelet. And you're like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah,
and then somebody right as it gets to your row, they give out the last fucking omelet, and they go, all we have left is a handful of bran. Right? You're like, and you're living. So I'm in first class, and they did that. They did it in first class.
In first, they didn't have it.
So they ran out of eggs. So I go, I don't want anything. And then 5 minutes later, the stewardess comes back with magically has eggs. And she goes, yeah, the pilot said you could have his eggs. And I was like, I don't want his eggs.
The pilot's fucking eggs?
Yeah. I want my eggs.
Let him eat.
And by the way,
she's dizzy up there.
She's probably lying, by the way. There were probably eggs that she wanted to eat, and she fucking just had to say the pilot gave them up. fucking, you want to see about how bad Continental has gotten? I was in first, and the same thing happened. They ran out of the meal I wanted, and now they sell food on the plane, which I kind of like, because they have like these really great snack packs for like $7 or $8, like, but it's fucking good shit, so you have a bunch of choices. So I fucking said, I don't want anything, let me have a snack pack. They fucking swiped my credit card for $11.
You're in first class. They ran out of shit and then charged you.
I said, you ran out? I'm like, you should be embarrassed. I was so aggravated. She goes, yeah, I know. And then she had a male flight attendant come with her to swipe the credit card because I guess I was considered a problem. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy. See? And you know what? They have complete power over anybody that's even mad at something like that, because then it's like, well, ladies and gentlemen, we got to make an emergency landing.
9/11.
Because the guy's mad that he didn't get his food and he's out of control.
But I fucking wrote my email to the head of fucking United for something else that happened.
Jimmy just sitting there in between jerking off at his computer, waiting for his dick to get hard again. And he's going, "Dear Continental."
No, that made my dick hard. Dear Mr. Smythe. Like, whoa. Me and Kenny had used miles to fly first. We used like 100,000 miles or whatever. But it was a brand new plane, and they hadn't installed the real first class seats.
Oh,
they were like they were shitty, and I didn't want to pay full mileage for that. I wanted some miles back, so we went to this fucking old twat in Newark Airport, and she just was not helpful at all. And that's what, like Bill said, I was like, I'm fucking gonna crawl through this shit because I could not stand that cunt's attitude.
Yeah,
and I got back miles and an apology, and then the next time it happened with the fucking meal, I was giving it to for free, so they might have changed the policy.
What I'm learning listening to Jim is you just have to be that guy who's not going away.
Just never.
Who's not going to curse, not going to lose his temper.
But he will not
I am not going away.
Yeah. And you have to be adamant, but without screaming. And human intuition, they a lot of times know you're right. And when I had that AT&T thing, I said to her, the woman on the phone, who was nice, I said, I didn't realize I had to check and make sure that the phone company wasn't stealing from me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd been stolen from. When you start saying that to them without cursing, it gets a reaction.
Yeah.
He's good, man. He's got all that.
That is good.
What kind of way is that to run a company?
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm unacceptable. I'm being stolen from.
But they're not.
Yeah.
The more you deal with them,
what
the more
kind of shenanigans is this? Sorry.
They're so used to being yelled at and screamed at, and people going, "What the fuck?" and people not being prepared. But if you're prepared and you speak to them that way, it doesn't always work, but it absolutely helps. And a lot of times they want to help you.
It annoys me to do that. I don't want to have to do that.
Technically, I mean, you need to have credit, but technically you can keep all your money in a safe. If you want to, you can do that. I mean,
I don't want to. No, I don't want to. When something fucks up, I don't want to have to be on the phone first pushing 1,000 buttons, useless fucking menus.
Do you do this? Operator, please.
Yes.
Operator, please.
I'm sorry. We did not understand that. And it's like, you hit 0. That's not an option yet. Yet it should be in there because they don't give you that operator one until you run through all their other shit. While you wait, let us tell you about. It's like, really? First of all, you could put me right through. It's not while I fucking wait. You're making me listen to a commercial now.
Or they do the thing like, you're gonna be your phone call will be answered in the order that it appeared.
Yeah.
Your wait time, or you can go right to online and have a deal dealt with right now. Your wait time is 43 minutes.
Yes.
While you wait, let us talk about some other shit.
Yeah. You use the fucking take the option for the survey too. I find that I don't know if they know you do it. Maybe I'm just convincing myself it's gotten me better service. But a lot of times they'll say beforehand, if you would like to take a survey after it, I would always go, no.
Yes.
But then all of a sudden I'm realizing I don't know if the agent knows that or not. But if they do know it, they automatically know that you're taking a survey about their service. And the companies do look at that shit. Just the way this fucking company investigates every complaint. All those companies do too.
I tell them, like, by the way, what's the menu prompt for the survey? Because I would like to take one after this is done.
I want to start recording the phone calls too.
Yeah, and tell
this is being recorded for quality assurance. I'm also recording this phone call
for quality assurance.
Yeah, I'm having a backup.
I bluffed that, Bill. It didn't help. I have bluffed that, though. I'm recording as well. They don't give a fuck because they know they're being taped.
I'll
anyway.
have your union card. Cramden. It's infuriating.
You hear so many stories about it, and I think part of it is my own fear of being over. This does not preclude, wipe out, whatever the word, their incompetence, their fucking thievery, them being despicable. But a part of
he's
it.
got all the words.
He does. He's good, man.
No, but I mean, I'm not disagreeing with Bill because they are disgusting. And when these fucking bankheads are the most hateable people.
No, but
alive.
you just gave them 3 criticisms without dropping the F-bomb. Like that's like the triple Lindy for me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, they're incompetent. They're cunts. Like I can't even get beyond one.
You get one and then just throw the fucking atom bomb at him.
All right, tag it with the F word. This is fucking ridiculous.
I feel like
I get so condescending toward them too. Like they'll tell me something I don't want to hear, and I just start going, "Oh, really? So that's what you're going with here, right? Really?"
Oh, I go totally conspiracy theory, and I'm just like, why are you part of the problem?
You're
I'll
part
do
of
that.
the problem.
Yeah, this is what you dreamed about when you were a kid. This is what you wanted to do. Just steal from people like this.
Yeah, and then Jimmy looks at it
like they have any sort of decision making.
Well, that's what it is. Jimmy looks at it like they're not the people. They're just the working guys behind the scenes, doing that. They're not the scumbags. But I look at it like, that scene in Clerks when they're talking about the Death Star and the workers that had to fix it and they got blown up. It's like, well, they chose to work for that company. They have to take the consequences of me calling them fucking asshole, shithead, fuck you.
Right, but the way Jimmy is looking at it, with that, you have to have empathy for the guy. And what's the sad thing is I totally realize that, and I still, I am so bad. I go from if I'm on the phone and I discover that I'm being fucked with, there's no way I'm gonna be able to keep my cool. If I discover I'm being fucked with and I'm off the phone and I'll act like a fucking caged lion for like 20 minutes in my living room.
Just back
my
and
dog's
forth.
over in the corner shaking like, is it me? Is he mad at me? What is going on? And then I calm down. Then I get on the phone and I have patience like, I don't know, maybe for 7 minutes.
You have a speaker. I do put it on speakerphone. It helps a little bit. Like I have my fucking landline. And holding the phone to your ear when it starts to get hot and you want to bite your fingers off.
It's sweating. Your battery power's down to nothing.
Take it out, or your call gets dropped. Put on a fucking landline and put on the speakerphone. I'm on my computer, and you can barely hear their shit music when they come back. It's almost like I'm just doing my day while it happens. And believe me, I fucking hate them. And I don't have as much empathy as it is. I know that they're my only link. Like right now, I can't get the fucking the director of the board on the phone. He's not coming to the phone.
No,
so this is who I have. This is my way in. They can get me to a supervisor. They can eventually help me. And back at that fucking Bank of America, I had the bank president in there with me trying to help me. And he was genuine and sincere.
Probably the janitor. They're like, dude, you got to play the president again. Get out there. We got some fucking guy.
I even said that to him. I'm like, I can't believe that you're the bank president and you mop and do the windows. He's like, see,
I'm el presidente.
But just him talking to them on the phone, too, and he was getting nowhere. But when you start saying stuff like that, that's unacceptable, and you just start being adamant, and I even said to them, I'm not paying $1,000. You're going to pay it. You're eating this. I'm not paying for your incompetence. It's not happening. When you say,
That's
I
good,
should get
right?
an award.
When you say it's not
I'm
happening,
not paying for your incompetence.
and I did
Can
say
I
that.
steal that?
Absolutely.
Who thinks like that?
Who can say that without dropping an F-bomb?
No.
Because
I'm not
For your
fucking paying for your
fucking
goddamn fucking incompetence, you cunts. I said what he said. It was just on steroids.
He's getting the money. You're getting a click.
But I knew I was right. And because they said this was enraging, and this is why I was grateful the bank manager was cool. Because I had gone in, and there was a bank employee that sat there with me. They call on a speakerphone, and I got my final mortgage payment, and I paid it. 3 months later, no. So I go back in, and the woman on the phone tells me and the bank manager who I'm in with, says, well, there's no record of your mortgage being closed out. And then I started to go into, thank God the employee walked in and recognized me. He goes, oh, yeah, I helped you last time. I'm like, would you like me to bring the guy in and he can tell you on speakerphone? Don't expect me because your records are not kept properly. Mm-hmm. And you have to tell them.
If you missed a mortgage payment,
second
you missed it, that would be through all the system. Your credit would be fucked and all that type of thing.
Fucking there, 100%. But you just have to be adamant, and again, don't curse, even though I want to.
How about something going on for years when, and I've told this story before, but quickly, I'll tell it again.
Take your time, sweetie.
I turned in my vehicle after a 3-year lease. Payments made every month, automatically, on time.
Sure. Send them a little
right
mint
up
for their
to the
pillow.
fucking, whatever. Right up to the end of my lease. I go to a dealership. I turn in my old vehicle. I lease a new vehicle. There we
There you
go. Dunsky. I get a notice like 3 months later that my loan is in default. They're repossessing my vehicle, but it was the vehicle I turned in. I'm like, what the fuck? So now I'm trying to
Picturing
get on
you in
this.
your silk pajamas reading that. You gotta
My
be
word, you gotta be shitting me.
Stocking cap.
You motherfucker. Yeah. It turns out the dealership I gave my old vehicle to and got the new vehicle from parked it in their storage lot and never got it back to the manufacturer or the deal, wherever the fuck they send your done lease.
Right.
So I call up and they were like, well, we don't have any record of it. I go, do you honestly? I go, honestly, do you think I paid my lease off every month on time, even the last payment? Paid off the last payment and then decided to just keep the vehicle.
And then you guys gave me another one.
And you gave me another one, which I have, right, that I've been paying on time, but I kept the vehicle. Really? Really, you motherfucker? Then that's where I
was there
make my mistake.
Was there? Because a lot of times, what I save everything like from stuff like when it says you paid your lease off successfully or whatever it says.
Yeah.
You save that, but they hadn't given you anything.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No, I had everything.
Oh, you did. Okay.
But it had gotten to the credit reporting companies. It got to the big three credit reporting companies, who then had me. I got my credit reports and looked and had repossession of a vehicle on there. My credit rating was shit. And I had paid the fucking thing off.
And how long did it take you to get that
A year.
Scarlet A?
1 fucking year to
Right.
get it off, too. It never got off the third one. As far as I know, it's still there on the one of them. They would not take the repo off.
Why?
Who knows?
Did you talk to them?
Yes.
And what was their answer?
They didn't have one.
When you say
did you? I sent them. They go, what you need to do is get a letter
Can you
from General
sue them?
Motors.
Can you
I
sue them
should
for that?
sue everyone.
I'll sue you for ruining my good name.
Yes, my good name.
I'm an upstanding citizen.
I had to get a letter from General
They've
Motors.
heard I sue you before.
Oh, I know.
Bank of America, here's the language I use with them because I said that. I'm like, I don't want to get my attorney involved, but I will.
Oh, see,
I'm
that's
not
good.
paying this
It's not
money.
sue, it's
Attorney. I'll get my
involved.
attorney involved if you want to deal with him because they've heard I'll sue you. That's
Yes.
reactionary. I'll get my
Yeah.
attorney involved.
He's unbelievable.
That is good.
Jim, you should give a seminar
You
just
should.
to every angry cunt
Yeah.
who's out there.
And believe
Yes.
me, I have the same hatred and the same anger for them. I don't want to interrupt, but to say sue you, they've
I
heard.
don't want to get
No,
my
it's-
attorney involved.
But I will.
It's perfect.
That's like the "you complete me."
Yes.
Of,
Phone calls to scumbags.
That gives you that's Chinatown right there.
Dude, sometimes none of this works, by the way. I acknowledge sometimes
I know.
none of this
Oh, that's got to be
works.
infuriating when it doesn't work.
Because then you just go fucking cunt and hang up on them.
I had to get a letter from General Motors, 3 of them, to send off to the 3 credit reporting companies, stating that I did indeed pay my debt in full on time, and the fact that they didn't get the thing back had nothing to do with me. I gave it to the credit reporting companies. 2 of them, it was wiped clean, fucking disappeared.
You had to cancel checks and all that. I mean, not cancel check the cash checks.
everything. And the one credit reporting company, they just never took it off. I sent them the letter. I sent them everything. And they said, oh, we got that. I go, it's not off. Okay, well, yeah, we're going to work on it. Was always they're going to work on it. They're going to do
How long did you stick with them?
A year.
Do you get names?
kept calling-
1 fucking year.
And you
get
finally
names?
said, fuck it.
I finally said, fuck it.
Do you
Yes.
get names of who you talk to? Every time you
gotta
call.
get names. He's right.
First thing
gotta
you
get
part of
do.
this Jim Norton seminar.
Dude, first thing
Get
you
names.
do. I write down, to who am I speaking to, please? They understand why. So-and-so, I write down the name and the time. It sounds crazy, but the next person you talk to, because you will have to call again. Look, I spoke to Bill Tetley at 5:50 p.m. Why has this not been handled? This is who I spoke to. And when you get a list of names, you still have to make the calls, but it helps a lot because they know that you're legitimate and they know you're prepared.
Yeah.
But when you're just screaming anonymously into a
it's-
fan, it
I
feels
love
like
screaming
get their
anonymously, though.
fucking names.
Yeah.
No,
Always
that's
get
how
their
I screwed
names.
up with my cable company.
Yeah.
They had my internet just craps out on me like every 3 days. And
Get Fios, Bill.
I always gotta sit there and reset the thing and I just would always deal with it like it doesn't work in my bedroom. My wireless doesn't work in there, and I'm just not a guy who fucking is. I'm out traveling. I don't have fucking time.
Yeah.
So I call like when it gets absolutely ridiculous, I will call. So finally, like for the 6th time that year, I have to call up and I'm flipping. I've called like 6 times. Well, who did you talk to? We don't have any record of it. I go, do you think I'm just like making this up?
Yeah, I'm lying. You're
I'm
right.
not trying
you
to
caught
get.
me.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get any money out of you guys. I just want this thing fixed and blah 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 blah. And they go, sir, we keep impeccable records here. And I go, what is what? You just say you keep impeccable records, so therefore you do? I also keep impeccable records. Right up here in my brain.
They didn't want to hear that.
Yeah. Who did you talk with, sir? I don't know. Well, I can't help you. So you're saying because I didn't get the person's name, now you're telling me that the phone call didn't happen. So you're basically saying that I'm lying to you.
Yeah, they're calling you a liar.
Keep the bill in front of you, and if it's a bill, you write down on the problem bill who you spoke to, and it's almost like you feel like you're getting something done when you do
you have
that.
a rosary
No,
too?
he's crazy.
Do you eat
No.
those candies with like the jelly in them? You have like the patience of an 85-year-old woman.
But I'm not
He's
patient.
sucking on a Werther's
Dude.
while he's waiting.
Dude, I blew a fucking 3-pawn lead in chess and fucking friends with chess, and I bit my fucking arm so bad I almost had to go to the hospital. I don't have patience, but you feel like you're accomplishing something.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a tangible thing. Like it's not as
Jim's in
frustrating.
his house coat with a girdle. Big fuzzy slippers. I'd like to talk to the man in charge.
And you know what? You say you feel like you're accomplishing something. When you think about it too much, though, you realize what you've accomplished is getting back to square one. You're where you were supposed to be in the first fucking place.
Sometimes
you didn't accomplish anything. You just got back what the fuck you were fucked out of.
But I've almost always part of the problem is we get so like as much as technology is a pain in the ass, it spoils you, and I forget to check. Like Bill said, I don't always check. It's like part of it is my responsibility. Because years ago you went over a checkbook. You went over. My mother would go over it meticulously and subtract and do everything, and she knew exactly what we had in the
Balance
bank.
the checkbook.
You don't do that anymore.
No.
So if I did that every month, if I went over my checks, which the bank gives me a thing to go over my checks, if I did that system, but with the technology, I've gotten lazy. So part of it is I don't check my own shit either.
Yeah.
How hard was it to get caught fucking around with your taxes back in the day whenever you had a ledger?
The ledger.
Yeah. Now they can
Let me see my
now they can
ledger.
just break into your computer and see exactly what you're doing. But back then, you're like dusting.
2 sets of books.
You know-
you got 2 of them. Yeah, I'll take one off of there.
Yeah, and the only thing you had to do, the other one was like in a different closet down the hall.
Yeah,
like
same house.
Yeah,
same
how are
room.
they gonna find it? You really want to dig through my entire house for my other ledger?
Ah, well, I guess he's on the up and up.
Do you know in Facebook this big lawsuit that's going on? It's like a $50 billion lawsuit or $25 billion. They're going over the computers of the one guy and they're doing forensics on the computers because it's $25 billion at stake. And they said they found on one of the guy's computers a contract, like that had been deleted, encrypted, that was signed a certain way, and they think that they might have got. It's amazing what they can do when they want. Because they know they're using every bit of technology in a $25 billion fucking
I'm going to
case.
sound a little like Bill here. You know that the computer companies, with that delete and shit like that, they know it's not deleting anything. Even the programs that you buy that supposedly wipe clean the programs and files.
Yeah,
if
why
they
can't
wanna
you do
get
that?
to it-
Why does everything get stayed?
They always
stuck
find
on your
it.
hard drive. Yeah, it's like nothing. It's whatever you did, it's there.
It's there. Pieces of it are there. Enough to put together the puzzle, you know. But like those shenanigans, like they're not in cahoots. Yeah.
This guy just shooting a fucking AK-47 out the side of a Toyota
great.
Prius.
Oh, I actually have that. It's an MP5. Oh, look at him. Oh, I got that pistol.
God damn.
Crazy bastards.
Look at this. These
These are the guys that are taking over.
Yep.
May we won. Let's shoot in the
Sharia
air.
law, good.
Yeah, yay.
That's
Life
what
in
I would be
Libya.
doing. I'd be having a great time. And you just know we got 3 days. 3 days R&R
3 days
before
of
this
partying.
before the tribes come in. This is all going to go.
He's wearing a Yankee hat.
That's funny.
Ah, boy.
Everybody looks like Vladi Divac.
And I love their weapons. The guy had a pipe, what amounted to a pipe, in the back of a Toyota that explosives would fly out of. Hey, why not?
It's hardcore.
But seems like they're winning.
Hey, if you guys-
yes, we do have reads.
Want a break?
Let's
Okay.
take a break or
I
something.
gotta pee.
Yeah. What was that, Bill?
There's a YouTube video. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Somebody sent it to me. I saw that they already showed it on Tosh.0, so I didn't talk about it on the podcast. But have you seen that the pervert game show host?
Oh, with the kid?
Kids,
With the little
yeah.
kid.
Did you guys see that behind the times?
Kissing them.
How, oh, when he kisses that one girl, and he goes, whoo-hoo.
And
that
she's
woman
fucking
goes,
like horrified.
That woman goes, the mother goes, dirty old man. That was what a pedophile was back in the day. Stay away from him. He's a dirty old man.
He's a dirty old man. Yeah, that was so
Stay away from him.
fucking,
He'll fuck you. He's a dirty old man.
The girl didn't like. The girl was really uncomfortable by him, and
then he had like some little trick where he would sneak the kiss in.
yeah, he like pretty much took a kiss from her.
Look how he's blocking her with his
Where's
body.
What happened to our sound man?
With his big
She
helmet.
has cool hair.
Oh my god!
Look
at
her.
how close he gets.
Ah!
This guy is a ghoul.
Wow.
This girl, Leanne.
Oh, look at him leering at her.
He is leering. He's
got
got
his
his
hand
arm
on her.
around her. Yeah.
No, you don't. What do you do when you're 11 years old for a date? Where do you go? What are some things you do?
You go.
We just walk home from school with each other.
Oh, you walk home from school with each other.
Does he finger you?
Yeah.
What category? Do you hand
They have the same hairdo.
That's the mom to the right.
They put it in slow motion.
You look like a young lady who likes to give lots of hugs and kisses out, do you? Hey? Hey? Not really. Not really. Can I have a hug and a kiss?
She's like, no. She's biting her fingernail. This is so uncomfortable.
Even if I say and whisper in your ear that Allison, you're gonna win the show,
Holy.
I still can't have a hug.
That's a
and
good
kiss?
message for a little girl.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can't win the show then. If I don't get a hug and a kiss.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Was this guy arrested?
Dude,
You hear that? That's a good answer. Oh, you missed.
Stephanie, which category?
Oh
the
my God,
It's
that guy.
fucking-
This guy's terrible.
Are you shy?
He's trying to kiss another girl.
Can I have a little kiss?
Show is great.
Oh, Uncle Paul. And he goes, ooh.
Show. See, she'd get a whole bunch of right answers.
Yeah.
You
Who's
get
bringing their kids on this show, first of all?
You don't too?
I love that he doesn't give a fuck about keeping the game going.
No.
He's like eating up valuable minutes here.
Arrange a
Yes.
big family kiss. I couldn't get that kiss earlier. Oh.
And he looks like the mom kissed him on the cheek, and he points at her like,
The kiss is the kids. Okay, dear.
what did
What
he
did you
just say?
That he wanted the
He
kids.
said something about like the
Couldn't get that kiss earlier.
the mom kisses him.
The mothers are always so easy to kiss. It's the kids. Okay, dear.
Holy shit! What's the history of this guy?
I think he's Canadian.
Is he? I don't hear that.
Perv.
They just stamp perv on
It's
his
not
head.
even, it just said ped.
Head. Did he have any problems later in?
Well, the sex man tells me that he used to be a Blue Jays announcer.
Yeah,
as
he was a
well.
broadcaster for the Toronto Blue Jays, but before that, all he did was children's game shows.
This was the children's
Really?
game show, Just Like Mom. Sure. Is what we were watching.
Just like mom. Yeah.
You know what you got to do? You tap them on the back, and when they look at you, you stick your tongue in their mouth.
Jesus, Uncle Paul.
Hi, Billy.
Well, I haven't seen you in a while.
Sure.
Shoot.
Billy's got freckles. I used to like to connect his freckles with kisses.
Jimmy's just disturbing when he does this.
He had little freckles on his backside.
How'd you find that out?
I'd open up his cheeks and go, let's see if they're in there, too.
All right, look.
Jesus Christ, Jimmy. And with that,
Jimmy's making me very uncomfortable.
You got to kiss the hole. Scratch his feet.
All I want to know is if this guy ever got arrested for anything.
no, the fact that guy was like,
He
you
was
see,
hiding in plain sight.
yeah, and he has like 9 different
Yeah.
sport coats on there, so that thing went at least 9 episodes.
Yeah.
the fact that he's just sitting there. What if I say you'll win the game?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the
like
game
he
if I get a
basically was
kiss.
saying, what if I give you some candy?
Yeah, he's bribing. Yeah.
A total of 595 episodes were filmed
Wow, man.
over 5 years. So
Holy shit.
The moms are easy. It's the kids
It's
that are.
the kids that are tough, you know? And the face he made when that mom kissed him, like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Old lady
Old
Brett.
bat.
Oh, he smell like dentures. I like when the breath smells like lollies.
Cotton candy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there, Uncle Paul.
Fergie Ulver.
Who's that?
That's
his
the
name.
name of the
That's his
guy. He has a very
name,
short
too.
Wikipedia page for doing that for 595 episodes.
Yeah.
Likes baseball, fucks kids. End of page.
That guy's horrible. Well, let's take a rant. And I got a read to do, right?
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Ugh, I hate reading. Reading sucks.
It's fundamental.
I'd rather just watch TV. All right, we're back in a flash. I like that. Hi, Opie and Anthony Show. Bill Burr.
That was a
Bill
great
Burr
read, by the
hanging
way,
out.
Anthony. It's a great
Oh,
read.
thanks. Yeah. I put a lot of effort into my reads, my live reads, and thank you, Bill. I was in the turlet. Had to make wee wees and blow my nose. Yeah, we wanted to talk about animals.
Yeah, we were
because
watching-
we're watching a little kid. I guess, and what was he, shark fishing or some shit?
In the Gulf, and the fishing technology with the rod and reel is so good that this 9-year-old kid reeled in a 7-foot shark.
Yeah, never would have been able to do that in the old days. It was a shitty little reel.
Oh yeah, with your
the
worm on the end of it.
pocket fisherman, the Popeil pocket fisherman.
Would have yanked him right in. Yeah, so we started talking about. I was like, I couldn't do that. If you had a shark sushi roll, I could eat that. But
You're
I could,
all in on there,
But I
but-
could never be. I couldn't kill something like that. But a chicken, I could kill a chicken.
You could kill a chicken with your bare hands.
I could do that. I'd grab him. Like if I was hungry enough, after
Yeah.
a while, it would take me a couple days of hunger. All right. If I had no water or anything like that, I would immediately become cranky within 4 hours, and I would grab him by his chicken face, and I would do that thing where you act like you're starting up an old car.
You crank
Yeah,
it.
you crank.
And,
Yeah.
and his neck just snaps.
His neck snaps. Yeah.
I've seen him do that, and I've seen him do the bullwhip thing, where they kind of take the chicken by the head,
The feet?
the face,
Oh.
by his face, like you said, and then they do like a whoosh, you're cracking the whip with
Yeah.
him, and his neck just snaps,
I could do that.
and that's over. Now, but the thing is, like you're saying, after
I would look the
you're
other.
hungry,
I would look the other way, but it would be one of those things. After I did it the first time,
yeah,
I would be. I would.
then you'd be desensitized.
I'd
You would
open Pandora's box.
fucking bite his throat open with your teeth.
It's like a serial killer with your first kill.
Yeah. The first kill's the hard one.
Yeah.
And then it just gets easier.
What about a deer? With all your guns, could you shoot a deer?
No, I'm not a hunter. I
Could
like
you
shooting.
shoot a person or a deer if you had to choose?
Well, it would have to be a bad person. You know.
Oh, you know what? I'm fucking with your gun license here. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
asking
not.
You dumb questions.
You're actually not.
Is there
because
anybody in your neighborhood you want to just
If
wave
it
your
was-
gun at, Anthony?
I'm not a hunter, so I don't like I always get you get this weird death feeling when you kill something. Like some people love it and they're like, yeah, I got a big deer. I'm all fine with that. I'm not anti-hunting. Go ahead, hunt your balls off, have fun. But I don't know. Even when I was a kid, and I would hunt like rabbit. You could shoot a rabbit and then you're skinning it and you kind of something
it's-
died.
yeah,
You just have some death, some looming death feel over you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have all these cereal in the cupboard.
Yeah. It's like, I could have eaten like a fucking burger.
I'll tell you what, the ones
Something.
I love watching those redneck things where they shoot those wild boars.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they're gigantic.
I know. I want to run through this building doing that.
Dude, this one takes like fucking 9 shots. It just keeps getting hit going, and just keeps going.
I like how the hunters a lot of times will say, though, too, like, hey, that thing will come at you. They're fucking nasty. You got to watch the... It's like, really? If you weren't there...
You weren't shooting at
But
it.
it wasn't going to come at you. But again, I could give a shit. I don't mind people hunting. It's got to be fun if you don't mind killing things. How much fun is that? Something's moving around and you got to shoot it.
I
It's
hate
fucking
it.
hard. It's going to be great to do if you didn't mind.
It all
killing
sounds great
shit.
till I watch them do it. Like when they, there we go.
Yeah.
There's a,
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. He stopped that fucking thing dead in its tracks. Wow, did he blast that thing?
yeah, if you get the
That was
audio on it,
perfect.
you got to see. This might be the one.
Oh, that one he hit.
Awesome kill
Quite
shots.
get that one. It's called Awesome Kill
Why
Shots.
doesn't he just go home and fuck his wife? Why don't you do that?
Because she looks like what he's shooting at.
You're probably right. He's shooting her by proxy. This fucking asshole with his camouflage jacket. How much can you stack the deck? You're blending in and you have a gun. fucking coward.
Yeah, but look at the degree of difficulty through those trees.
Yeah, that is tough. Oh, no.
Good.
Come on.
I
can't even get
Come on.
2 shots. Come on.
Is that a Revolutionary War gun?
They got some nice etching on their weapons. They take them very seriously.
Cool.
Oh,
Zach
look at that. Wow.
Are they going to eat everything they fucking hunt?
I don't know. Probably not the tusk.
But I mean, do they eat wild
Got to
boar?
marinate it for a while. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They probably make some good bacon out of that. There is an adrenaline rush. There's a thing. Like, I have hunted, but I don't like killing things.
Fuck that.
But there is like an adrenaline rush thing that happens because it takes a long time to find something. If you're real hunting, not fucking going out on some game
back
reserve,
in the day when you had to
area.
do that to survive, that must have been the greatest
right
feeling ever.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat.
Yeah, hey, yay, I get food. Yay. But, oh, man. They sure are dusty animals. When they hit them, dust blows off of them. Very dirty, those pigs.
Fucking thing just running through the woods, minding his business.
Yeah, I think they get dogs chasing them, too.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't you?
Like some dogs chase them around.
Why'd they shoot the dogs? Oh, no, that's right.
That's their dogs. They pat them on the head and go, good boy. Good boy. Yeah.
Oh, the trailer.
Oh, boy. Boy, this guy loves killing things.
I have such a hatred for this guy.
This guy loves killing animals.
I really don't like him.
Bolt action, too. You got to give it to him. He's not using some semi-automatic fucking rifle there.
That's great.
Takes a little bit of skill. Be able to get off 3 shots with a bolt action.
No. According to everyone, it's an impossible shot, really? I saw the same movie you did, asshole.
And this guy's shooting at a running pig with a bolt action.
No.
Jesus. Come on. Oh, would that go through the tree and fucking hit him? This guy using a howitzer? Yeah. Hey, you know what it is, though?
That's good eats, though.
Yeah, I guess
what
if you eat it,
wild
that's fine.
Fucking boar bacon must taste like? It's got to be wonderful.
You think so?
I bet.
Probably good, yeah.
Oh, it's probably really good. Fucking pig.
That's why when I was up in Montreal, I was with Bobby and
I like that this is a natural segue.
I know.
we ate a pig's head.
What?
Had a pig's head. It was fucking disgusting.
Really? Well,
but there was some kid doing disgusting. A blog who he's only eaten 5 different foods his whole life. He's totally picky and he's trying to expand his palate. So
yeah.
As the comedy, he picked the most fucked up thing ever.
A pig head.
Bobby dove in. He ate the fucking eyeball, part of the snout.
Thought it was a mirror. He's doing his hair.
I get it, dude, because I'm fat. Exactly.
Those pigs, when they're shot, they should do that funny rolly over thing. Their legs go stiff and they rolly over, roly poly piggy.
It's like silent film actors pretending to die.
I'll tell you something. That's a tough fucking shot. They're running balls out. The guy's got what amounts to a red dot. It's not even like a really a magnified scope on the thing, and a bolt action.
Shoot the cap.
Oh,
why a bolt action? You think?
I think he wants to put a little bit of skill into it. He's
what was that last thing he shot at?
I don't know. It looked like a fox or something.
Yeah, house cat.
Maybe he shouldn't house cat. Maybe he shouldn't shoot that. I don't think you could eat that shit. But deer is a weird thing to hunt because they're not running. You sit there and wait for the deer to come up and kind of stand there. He looks up majestically and you fucking blow his neck out. But the pigs, wow, they're flying.
Yeah.
And this guy's got to lead them and fucking shoot bolt
pattern.
action.
Yeah.
Travis, you want to
that takes some skill. I'll give it to those guys.
Mick Foley is arriving.
Mick Foley is here from the what's he from now?
World of stand-up comedy.
Oh, right. Okay.
What's Roland doing?
You want to take a break real quick?
Oh,
so we can catch up.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, but we went an
doing
hour
that
45.
to catch up because we went an hour 45. So we were going to take a break right before Mick sits down. But, he's pretty clean shaven. What a head of hair Mick's got on him.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it looks great.
Lost
man.
A bunch of weight. Yeah.
Mick, take a seat. You know what? We're going to take a quick break. Catch up on commercial breaks because we gave you guys so much quality radio.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back.
Sirius XM. The Virus. The Opie and Anthony Show.
Yes. We're back and joined by Mick Foley.
Hello.
My God. Been too long.
It's been a long time, and you guys did right by me the last time.
Did we? I always think like, oh, God, what did we do to Mick last time? Shit.
Ginger Lynn had an orgasm on my knee.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was going to say last time I saw Mick, I remember that.
That was a good one. Yeah. Oh, good.
And here's the bizarre thing. I went right from here to going to OutQ Radio and taping this very sensitive promo for an anti-bullying campaign.
The gay channel.
Exactly. They'd been influenced. I had a talk with them a couple weeks earlier, and they asked me if I minded if they used our conversation like as the building block for this anti-bullying campaign. So I went right from Ginger Lynn having the orgasm on my knee to doing the sensitive anti-bullying campaign. And it wasn't until I left the building that I asked myself, was that wrong? Was I wrong there?
No, because you didn't bully her into having an orgasm on your knee.
No.
So, yeah.
No.
Yeah, she loved it.
And it was my suggestion, and in my defense, she was looking a little uncomfortable, and you guys were suggesting different objects that she might.
That always happened.
Insert.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And so I felt like I was the cavalry riding to the rescue with that suggestion.
You were. That wasn't a near bullying. I mean, you saved her.
Do you know how many guys would have offered up their knee in that situation?
Yes.
Or chin.
You're a hero. You're a hero.
My wife thought it was a good decision. Yeah. She liked it. And,
because you were a little worried about that. How'd that work out when you got home?
You know what? I have an iron-classed defense.
What
I
happened?
was an ironclad.
Ironclad
defense. I just say, I've had head injuries.
That's true. We've seen them. They're on video. You could watch him receiving head injuries.
So I busted my butt for 23 years to put a roof over these kids' heads, to put food on their table.
Wow, that's good. He's got a great excuse.
He just has that match with The Undertaker on the loop.
That's
when he goes
all
through
you
the
need. Flying the top of that cage.
And then he just walks away going, for you.
One of the
I
best
did it for
ones.
you.
What was the date there, Sam? What was the date?
I know it was Hell in a Cell. It was June 1999.
That's good. Bandwagon fan.
98.
98?
Third week of June.
Okay.
June? 90?
Happened
I'll
to be
still
the
give it to you.
same day in June that Superfly Snuka came off the cage against Bob Backlund.
Okay.
It's one of those great wrestling moments.
What year is that?
That was 82. Yep.
Okay. I love Superfly when he was in here doing the promo for us.
Hey, can I tell you a quick Superfly story? And I'm going to substitute one verb for another one. I mean, it's the effed up. So if someone wants to, are we allowed to say that?
Yeah,
yeah, of course.
Prefer it.
All right, okay. I'm gonna go to Sam. Sam, you drop the F bomb for me.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And so I would say messed, and then you throw in the other one. Okay.
Okay.
When Superfly, this is coming from The Rock, who does an amazing Superfly impression.
Does he?
He said that when Superfly was let go by WWE at the peak of his popularity, giving you some indication of how messed up he may have been, he would actually show up and be in the main event, and he'd look outside the window and say to his driver, "Not tonight, brother." Look at the building. Lines going around the block and take off as he wasn't in the mood to wrestle. So
Not tonight, brother.
He went to AWA, the American Wrestling Association, and Vern Gagne was having a conversation with his son Greg, who said, Dad, I don't know, the guy's kind of messed up.
Fucked up.
Right, guy's kind of
fucked.
Yeah. And the Superfly heard it. He goes, "You think the Superfly is
fucked up?
You think the Superfly is
fucked up?"
And then the Superfly went into a toilet stall where you heard the sound of like a hand chopping, followed by loud inhaling. And then he came out and his eyes were all ablaze. He goes, "Now the Superfly is
fucked up."
There you go.
Would he really say "not tonight, brother"?
Not tonight.
The Rock doing pretty well. "Not tonight, brother."
That's fantastic.
That Superfly was fucked up.
He was.
Yeah.
That would explain, though, why when he came back to WWE, he wasn't exactly a main eventer anymore.
Yeah. I just saw him. I saw him at the Gathering of the Juggalos. He was, I think he's 69. I was at.
Is he 69 years old?
Wow.
69 years old. Yeah.
How does he look?
It's gonna be rough.
You know, he looks better than I do. Like, he's
Come on.
got that look of
Well,
a
you really
guy
set the
who's
bar
ripped.
high.
You actually, when he came in, we were commenting how nice and clean cut you look and everything. Your hair looks really nice and well kempt. You're shaved all nicely. What's going on?
Celebrity wife swap.
What?
Celebrity wife swap. I was like, I don't know, you know, I might put my my marriage under a lot of strain, but I'll do it for a free haircut.
So what was the haircut thing? Did the other wife tell you to do it?
Her rules. She suggested I do a makeover, and
She was like a Bob Seger fan. I'm joking. You look great. You look great.
Man, you know
I'm joking. You look great. You look great.
What I said to the bar, I was like, I still want it long enough so that when most people look at it, they're like, yeah, he's kind of got long hair.
Yeah,
it's not all gone, but I mean, they took off 10 inches.
They must have, yeah.
And I made the donation to women who've, I got to get my little.
Of course you do. That's fine. You do a lot of great charitable work. He does, yeah.
But I said no to the pedicure and the manicure. I went for they got me a set of front teeth. And then when I came home, even my kids were like, "Dad, I have no respect for you now."
Shit.
And the story on the front teeth is I used to wear them in 1990, and then I met my wife. And she's like, "Why do you wear those things?" I said, "I don't know. You know, it's like a stereotype, the wrestler with the missing teeth." She said, I think you look sexy without them. And the teeth literally went out of my mouth and into the car ashtray, and they stayed there for many. I would put them in when we were arguing. That was like my big
That annoy her.
Yeah. So I had the makeover, and they said I was the only guy that season who was undergoing a drastic transformation. And if you guys remember, the beard was gray. Beard was graying, and I thought, I can't dye my beard. Like that's... with the fans, that would be right below fixing the teeth and getting a new ear put on, dyeing the beard.
Yeah.
But now my excuse is it was for a television show.
Television.
Television.
It's for television. Had to do it.
Who'd your wife swap with?
I don't think I'm at liberty to.
Let's say.
I don't think I'm supposed to even be saying that I'm on the show.
Well, it's kind of cool that you did say that, but hey, you know what? It's only going to do good for the show.
The producers are like, I'm not saying you should talk about it. Officially, we can't say that.
Right.
If you happen to mention it, it puts pressure on ABC to actually air the episode.
See?
But they wanted opposites. So I mean, she went with an unbelievably good-looking guy. Former Calvin Klein model with the abs and
Jesus.
And it just so happened that when the new wife came in, our little puppy Randall had the runs, and my agreement with my wife was, all right, you can get the dog, but I'm not cleaning up poop. And so she came at a good time when there was dog poop literally everywhere.
Now let me ask you a question. With a show like that, how much time do you actually, or do the people spend with each other's wives?
It's like 5 days. They claim it's a week, but
where do you sleep?
She sleeps. I can't tell you for sure where my wife sleeps. But our woman had the spare bedroom.
They don't sleep together?
No.
What's a wife swap then? That stinks.
It's a learning experience, man.
It's the other parts of the marriage.
In order to accurately depict life with me, she slept in a different bedroom.
Oh,
I like that. Jim started.
The woman was great. She was a sweetheart. I was afraid when I heard she was really conservative, there was going to be like a Fox News anchor, that I was going to really butt heads with her.
Yeah.
I mean, she just, she believed in keeping the house, run finely tuned, and we're a little more freewheeling in the Foley house. She kind of grabbed whatever bed is available, and since I'm up until 4 or 5 in the morning, she would come in and she would see me sprawled out in a kid's bunk bed, and even though my wife was gone, the little kids, they fall asleep, they go to sleep, and they hang out with their older daughter, and some people find it appalling, I find it kind of endearing.
I like that Jim thought that this ABC show was just a show about guys banging each other's wives.
Swingers. I knew that you didn't, but I'm like, why would you sleep in separate? If you're going to do it, like, make them sleep together and fight the temptation.
Apparently I make noises when I sleep.
I think there could be a problem too with husbands killing the other guy, and
then they wouldn't sign up for it. They're going to kill.
But I'm telling you, there is a future. There is a celebrity swinger show waiting to happen.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There is. I'm not.
Celebrity
I won't be part of it.
You got to go non-celebrity.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. You got to
regular.
go. Okay, let's put it together. Let's do the pitch here. You get some couples who are just unhappy in their marriages. Mm-hmm. You get them to switch, but they're not allowed to bang. There's got to be something. There's got to be some sort of immunity in there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's always got to be some kind of immunity. I don't know how to do it.
Give up on the
Stick them on an island. Stick them on. I thought you guys were all going to jump in. You all just that felt like a real TV pitch to me. Where you guys were all the executives just going, "I don't see it,"
and we're like, "Yeah,
Can I walk out of the room now with what's left of my dignity?"
Have you ever had a bad pitch? I've had a couple that were.
Oh god, that's awful.
I actually know the signs. When somebody starts staring at their pen, playing with the pen, looking out the window.
It's bad.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's.
Do you remember CBS back in the day?
I never pitched to them.
Oh my God! It was like walking into the commissioner's office in the Natural. It was like no lights on, and it was unbelievably. It was notoriously a cold room, and you would go. It was like doing the Apollo. You just went in and tried to survive it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So my dad was crazy, and I thought
who
that
here
was
has pitched a show? I'm asking for a show
Oh,
of
yeah,
hands on
yeah,
radio,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I have.
All the
I think
dudes,
we all
Sam,
have.
right?
I haven't yet pitched a show.
You know what's amazing is that it really doesn't matter how good the show; it's how good you make it sound.
How
while
well you
you're in
pitch.
there. It's
Yeah.
that's it's
There is
all
a
in the
trick
pitch.
to the pitch. Yeah. And apparently we don't know it.
Well, I obviously fucking don't know it. It's about me. The guy that you've never been interested in, now you should be.
This show is like me meets me.
Yeah. Just-
Wow, that sounds fascinating.
yeah, there's a I always try to make it like too different. And just there's a neighbor, he's a rapist, but you don't understand. He's different now.
It's not
Yeah.
like
But he's not good at it. He never quite gets to
Yeah.
do
can't
it.
close the deal.
Yeah.
See, I know the standards.
But he's likable too because he goes to hit them with a brick and he just can't do it and he lets them go. I always fucking foul up the pitch. How's stand up, by the way? Are you liking it?
You know what? I am. I just I tagged along with Judah Friedlander last night and did my first multi-club hopping deal.
You guys should be on the Handsome tour together.
Judah's a pisser.
He's
man.
great.
Judah's great. And every club he goes, you want to go first? You want to go after me? And I'm like, I'm not. It's like in wrestling. I'm not following Judah Friedlander. Tonight I'm doing my own show at the brokerage, largely so I can get some quality videotape because I find I relate everything to wrestling.
Yeah,
and if it's like I talk about these AWA guys. For the casual fan who would tune in and watch their horribly produced show, they just automatically surmise that everybody on the show sucked too.
Right.
And it's really the video quality. And so I've been, tweeting out these couple of handheld things. Because my big challenge was people say, really, even you guys, I would come in and from time to time be fairly entertaining here. And then you guys, really, comedy? I don't see that. Comedy, no.
The thing is, people.
That's when you're making a mistake. All right,
The voice goes up.
No, that's a great idea.
Does it make you happy?
Well, that's good.
The people have come on the show and been very funny, but couldn't possibly do stand up. That's why I think because it's there's a whole different thing between just being funny and getting up on stage with a microphone and making people fucking laugh.
Right.
That's hard.
And it's funny, when I used to talk to colleges, you could tell stories that were humorous, and if people laughed, it was like the icing on the cake.
That's extra. Yeah, you're just telling a story.
It's a lot of pressure, especially, Judah went and saw me one time where I came out of I was at a thing, benefit show for the troops. I didn't know if I was doing a set, and this is at the Broadway where they have 15 comics on, and they were all talking about masturbating, and that was going to be my set.
Oh,
and
shit.
so I'm sitting there in the front row okay, what do I do if I'm called on? I can't talk about masturbating anymore. And so I went up there, here's a showcase where guys have been on TV and had, actually performed around the country. And I go up there and wing a set after coming out of the front row, and it was not, it was not pretty. At one point I actually said, look, if I was in a pool, I would ask for a life preserver because I'm just
done
drowning here.
Yeah.
And so after that point, I really started writing ideas down. In wrestling, you go out there, you have a couple ideas, at least that's the way I did it, and boom, you put it out there, and hopefully it's good, hopefully it's impactful, but then you never touch it again. Whereas in comedy, what I'm seeing is if you have something, you go out there, you try it out, you figure out how you can make it better, whittle down the bad stuff, keep the interesting stuff. So it's I mean, I don't mean to get all corny about respecting the craft and all that.
It's true, though.
No, but you're asking the right question. You're sitting there going, all right, I can't do that. Because those guys have done that. And then when you started bombing, you did the best thing. You addressed it.
Addressed the
The
bomb,
worst is to just keep plowing through as people are just going like, oh, my God, does he know? This is horrible.
You got to acknowledge it.
That's if you have a polite crowd. If they're a mean crowd, they'll just start laughing at you.
And I know because I did the virus and I thought I'd put in my own 5 minutes of stand-up. It was the most uncomfortable feeling in the world.
It's so fucking hard. I don't know how. Like, just to have the balls to get up there and do it is amazing to me.
But I was used to people automatically liking me and
Right,
cut me
right,
that slack. And sometimes I go out there in front of 15,000 people and bomb on purpose just so I can get a rise out of like Jericho in the back. He'd be like, "You actually did it. You
Look
did
at
it."
you bombed. It was hilarious. Yeah.
And it's you don't get the same grace. You don't get that same slack from the stand-up audience.
No.
But I'm plugging away. I'm really I'm going to give it at least a year or two and really pursue it. And if I could ever open for either you gentlemen, I would consider it an honor. So
do you let me ask you, do you go on the show by yourself, or are you having other acts on the show, or is it just you for an hour and a half, or how does your show work?
It depends. If I'm being booked. Like in Plattsburgh, New York, they'll find a local comic to open up, and then I'll go on and I'll do it for a while. If it's a wrestling audience, then I can I'm trying to find out like how can you go out there and please everybody and not essentially be Mick Jagger on a solo tour refusing to play Stone songs.
Right, yeah.
So I try to find wrestling stories as a jumping off point. And then try to make it so that anybody can enjoy it, but so that wrestling fans don't feel like I'm excluding them.
Like you've totally given up on that and won't even acknowledge your wrestling career.
I tried that in 2003 when I had my first novel. I was like, I'm a writer now.
Yeah.
And one person came to my book signing who was not a wrestling fan, like the entire tour.
Wow.
One person. And I asked her, like, oh, what do you think about wrestling? And she was like, I don't watch wrestling. I said, well, why are you here? I think you're a wonderful writer.
Well, like, whoa, damn.
So we're talking.
And then he choked her out.
I've got to get back in the good graces of WWE just so they can put my appearances on their website, because that drives like 90% of the audience, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you host the shows, Mick? Do you go on first and host?
I've never hosted. I would like to. I mean, I'm open to doing anything. Last night when I was tagging along with Judah, I was doing the 5-minute sets, which are hard for me because my stuff, it's not bing, bang, boom. It's kind of storytelling. But by the time I did my fourth club, I was like, okay, I get this. You kind of have to get into it and out of it fairly quickly. But guys would tell me when I was rambling on for an hour that, you need to whittle this stuff down in case you get the call for, if a TV show comes up, you can't go out there with these long meandering stories.
And then we hit 2001 when I then
when you're telling a story and you got to do that. So then
I learned the curse word, and I haven't done this. Is as soon as a comic goes anyway, they have no idea what they're doing.
We just bombed.
Yeah, exactly.
So what else is going on?
Yeah.
That's another one. Shit is crazy. That's the black version of the white. So what else is going on?
Shit is crazy.
And Adam Ferrara said, never go up there and say, I know what you're thinking. Like, that's... a heavy guy goes up there. I know what you're thinking.
I know what you're thinking. Yeah. I like to eat. Okay. Yeah, that does.
Well, you should just say something that they're not thinking. That's always like, I know what you're thinking. Suicide bombings are funny. What? No, we're not.
Wait a minute.
You really throw them for a loop.
I don't think that for a second.
Dude, everybody in the 90s that I opened for seemed to have that. When I used to do all those gigs, they go, I know what you're thinking.
Oh, God, yeah. I did it.
Yeah. When did Jimmy Carter open a fruit stand? What?
That's good, though. That's good stuff.
I don't know what the fuck. There was always like you look like two people.
Yeah. For me, it was Sinead O'Connor and Doogie Howser. I started like in 1990. I would say that, and then Sinead O'Connor and Uncle Fester.
Hell.
I don't know if I ever did On Crack or On Hell. I don't think I ever did those.
On Crack.
I don't know. On Crack or From Hell.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done those.
Yeah, shouldn't.
No.
You shouldn't do those.
And last time I was
I said I fucked a pregnant woman who was on crack, because that was true. That makes sense.
Well, that's funny.
Sorry, got it.
You mentioned off air that you had actually done a cruise. You'd done Shane McMahon's like his engagement
bachelor party. Yeah, me and Bob Levy.
And you said you bombed that day.
It wasn't good. It was. I got a couple of laughs, but it was a very intimate setting. Vince was there. Obviously, Shane, his friends. And it was a very small boat ride. Pat Patterson, I think, and I
just what were you saying earlier?
Shane didn't want to answer if he masturbated, but again, he was a younger guy then. He was with his friends, and they didn't know me. It was like if I was a known comic at that point, maybe. But I wish I had saved the shirt because they gave me a shirt that said SS Shane McMahon Bachelor Party.
Remember when you asked me what wrestling memorabilia I wanted? That shirt would have been.
That shirt was like,
I had it from Shane McMahon's back, and I threw it out.
Patterson.
With my rock shirts, 10, 11 years ago, because I just didn't. I should have saved that one.
Yeah,
I remember Pat Patterson beat Ted DiBiase for the Intercontinental Championship. He took a pair of brass knuckles out of his tights.
That's the way Pat did
I
things.
should have checked for
and
that,
I was flipping out. How did you not see it? They totally had me.
You would want that, Sam?
The Shane McMahon Bachelor Party T-shirt? Yeah.
SS Shane.
It's ungettable.
Yeah.
What, are you going to find it on eBay?
I wonder how much those are worth.
Maybe.
Nobody has it. Except for the people who went to his bachelor party, and nobody's selling it. There weren't wrestling fans at his bachelor party.
No,
this is your Franklin Mint side.
Sam will remember. Remember when Shane wrestled Steve Blackman?
Yeah.
And he took that gigantic fall. Like they had to play
two things of the screens, the SummerSlam screens.
Yeah, he was like 40 feet up in the air, and they had a place for him to land, but it took a lot. That kid's got some guts.
It was huge. Yeah.
He got some guts, and one of the perks when I was in good graces with WWE is that I would go, like, once the show started, I would go into Vince's office and take like whatever steaks they had leftovers. He was a guy who liked the best of everything. So it was a really good fillet. It was usually a good fillet. Sometimes it'd be a great chicken breast, but if it was Chinese food, it'd be the best Chinese
food.
For
his office.
Yeah, and it was understood. And when I went back there after I'd almost gone to TNA the first time, like I knew the relationship was strained because I didn't feel like I had that. I didn't have that power anymore to go leftovers.
We take his shit without with impunity. Yeah.
But on that day where Shane took the big fall, I went into the office and Linda McMahon was in there and she was sobbing uncontrollably because she'd just seen her son fall 40 feet.
Oh,
even though he was okay, it was still
quite
a trip. And she was sobbing uncontrollably. And the thing to do would have been to say, "It's okay, Linda," and then leave. And I said, "I'll only be a minute." And I went about preparing my plate. While Senator McMahon sobbed uncontrollably.
Are you still being cautious with the finances, I hope?
Am I being cautious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still cautious. Yeah. My kids can't see it, My kids, they take great issue to the fact that I make them drive around in the 2002 Chevy Venture. Yeah. Oh man, I love it. The older and uglier it gets, the prouder I become.
Really?
Oh, I just beam with pride.
Not into anything new and shiny.
You know why? Because now I rent cars frequently. Now when I'm on the Emerald Isle and I see an Impala, it's like, oh boy. And if it's got leather interior, like I might as well be in a Maserati. It's just a thing of beauty. Yeah.
It's not like you didn't pilfer or you didn't piss your money away. You have the means. Do you ever treat yourself to something? What's the last thing? What's the last luxury item you got?
You know what? I think I mentioned this like a year ago when I was on the show. I got a car stereo. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What year is this?
This is about a year ago. I bought
got a blow car. Who you hang out with? Huggy Bear? What year is it?
Super tuner.
I got the amplifier under the seat. Yeah. So
you will still fly coach?
Wow.
I'm amazed that Mick will fly coach.
Well, you know what? When I fly WWE always had me in first. I'd wrestled for 14, 15 years when I first got an F on my fare. I had no idea what it was. I'd seen Y fares and B fares and C fares and Z fares, and I went up to one of the guys like, "What the hell is an F fare?" They said, "It's first class." And I said, "Well, what kind of mistake? There's been a mistake." No, you're the world champion. The world champion always flies in first. And then I lost that title like 3 weeks later, and the F still came up, and I didn't say anything. And then one of the guys let me know that like in WWE, once you're the world champ, you're kind of grandfathered in.
Oh, wow.
So,
hey.
I got used to it, and then when I went over to the other place, like my manager made sure that was one of the things.
Yeah.
Like it's more the gesture of respect.
Yeah,
Than
it also makes the company look better. It really is on a high profile company like that. If you're the champion and you're sitting in fucking 37D, it looks ridiculous.
And there's nothing worse going from first back to coach. You really feel like it's like a behind the music arc.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He started off modest, 37D, as Jimmy says.
when I book my own flights, you better believe I'm a coach.
I don't doubt
but
it.
I get bumped up quite a bit in Delta because I got the million miler status. But when you show up at the airport and you're hoping for the upgrade on the cross country flight, you don't get it.
Why wouldn't you just pay for first? You have the money. It's not like
it's principle, my friend. It's principle. You got to live by principles. And I've learned the secret on Southwest. Is I'll try to get on and get that exit row, and then if I see a heavy person coming from that middle seat, I reach for the air sickness bag and start breathing heavily, and it works like a charm.
Oh, they don't want it. That is a good one. Wow. He gets his fake puke sound.
I like air sickness while it's still on the ground.
Yeah, this guy's going to be a problem to sit next to.
And then I recruit a thin person. I say, hey, buddy, you want to sit?
Yeah.
Sit in the middle seat here.
And then you get imagine that. You get a fucking fan like Sam. Then he sits down and he won't shut the fuck up about wrestling just the whole flight. And then at WrestleMania, when you, oh, God.
You know how Southwest they have the open seating, which is where I usually take out the vomit bag.
Festival seating.
This one person punched me in the shoulder as hard as she could. Hey, dude! She was out of her mind.
Oh, man.
And she thought, I'm such a big wrestling fan. And then she got on the plane, and I saw her make a beeline for me, and she sat down next to me. And during the course of the flight, she was saying how she usually prefers women, but that she would make an exception for me.
Was she pretty?
You know what was weird is that she became pretty over the course of the flight. I said, well, you know what happened with, have you tried a relationship with a man? She said, my last relationship with my old man didn't work out too well. And I said, what happened? She goes, I stabbed him. She stabbed him. So by the end of the flight, I said, listen, if this were another time, another place, could you envision yourself stabbing me? And I liked her. I was like, she went from being this, unattractive, very butch-looking woman, and something about the stabbing and the danger made her like exotic to me.
And the fucking complete power over she's a fan.
Yeah.
So it's possible. That's probably what it was. Like all of a sudden, you're just this guy on a plane, and you could fuck this girl. There's something hot about that. I imagine. I wouldn't know, but I've heard.
Oh, come on. I told my wife this story. The guy from Warrant died, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember the story about one of my friends who joined the Mile High Club with the lead singer from Warrant. And my heart went out to her. I was like, I wonder how she's taking this. They were very close on that flight. It's the type of crowd I run with.
That's like almost impossible to do now, isn't it?
I would never want to fuck. Like all I think is if I'm peeing, I'll actually brace my arm above me on the fucking thing because I'm afraid that the plane's going to drop and I'm going to be paralyzed by banging my skull. My dick would never work on a plane.
Is that what you think?
Yes, I do. Yes,
Who
I
would
do.
want to fuck in a public bathroom?
Wow.
Like the airline.
Well, that's just it. The public bathroom. The only time
Jimmy's like,
the only time the Mile High Club thing works, I think, is if you're flying private and you have a fold down bed thing. It's for the wealthy. You're not in fucking coach on Frontier Airlines. You're joining the Mile High.
That'd be interesting to wonder how much harder it is to get away after 9/11, or just how many hand jobs are on a daily basis.
Does a hand job count?
I don't think a hand job counts as Mile High.
Post 9/11, when there's no more blankets and anything you ask, you have more peanuts. Why are you being hostile?
And then everybody's looking for any weird movement that another passenger is making. A repetitious movement under a blanket means you're putting together a bomb from a sense of feel. Like you've practiced it. No, just getting a hand job.
No, I had a thought. My friend Mark told me years ago he was flying. His friend was a pilot. They flew smaller planes, and he said he got blown on the plane. And he goes, as he was about to blow his load, I think he told it, and the guy fucking just like went like,
dove?
Dove a little bit. He fucking blew a load in a girl's mouth while the fucking plane was diving. He said it was amazing.
Coming while your stomach's dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't picture that
It's got to
either.
be a little odd, yeah.
That's a weird way to get fucking blown.
Yeah, maybe they'd probably force it out a little more.
I don't know.
It's an odd thing. I don't know. It's just impossible to get away with anything but just having a shitty ride on a plane these days. We were talking about it earlier. The grand old days of the stewardesses with the short skirts. That's just gone. Now they're flight attendants, and don't fucking call them stewardess. And they're not as young as they used to be.
Have you had the singing flight attendants?
No.
Oh, man. And you know, I fly Southwest quite a bit, especially when I was going to Orlando with TNA. And you get the same flight attendant singing the same song.
Holy shit.
You know,
What are
about
they
landing.
singing?
Like they'll turn.
Oh, like they'll talk about the safety shit?
Yeah, that type of thing. Or when you're landing, I won't even try to make up
the
words, even though I'm just about to. Like, oh, we're landing. We thank you for flying on Southwest.
Oh, I think I've had that one. I remember
There's so
that.
many of
Oh,
them.
I'd want it to wing over and nose in.
I hate that
Just
fucking
stop it.
shit. I hate fun on a plane. I really do. From the crew, fucking beat it. Don't try to entertain me.
The same thing with the waiter who comes up and puts his foot on your table and says, "So,
Oh,
here are the
yeah, that
specials."
guy.
You just want to be served.
It's, you know what it is? It's like through the unprofessionalism, he thinks he's being more one of the guys. It's like, no, I want professionalism.
Exactly. I want service.
I hate the crowd on the plane when they laugh at their dumb jokes, just encouraging them.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if this person was in a comedy club, you wouldn't have laughed at that.
No.
You're just all nervous.
Well,
You
I'll
think
give you
if you
one.
laugh, that
Smellies.
means it's not going to crash.
Right.
Here's the classic airplane standby joke, which is, ladies and gentlemen, we have a first-time flyer. He's 97 years old, and then people clapping on your way
yeah.
out. Say hello to him in the cockpit.
I get it.
He's flying the plane.
pilot. That's crazy.
I've never heard that. I don't like fucking jokes. I really don't, because they're not funny, and it annoys me.
I don't like
so
jokes.
fucking much when they try to have personality. Don't try to have personality to hide the fucking death we're about to face.
Yeah. We're entrusting our lives to you.
Virgin America is a great airline. I've flown them a few times,
yeah.
and they're really good. But they have this recording they play where the seat. Like, if you've never used a seat box, just go through your boring announcements and stop trying to jazz this up, shitheads.
That's what I like. I like the straight-faced, boring fucking
yes.
display. She's just up there clicking the belt, the mask, put it on. Yeah, okay.
You know what's so fun? I fly
like
so
that
much.
shit.
Just talking about this is depressing me.
It
That on Monday I have to fly from here, Newark, all the way back out to L.A.
That's a long.
What
flight,
airline?
I go American.
Yeah.
Coach.
You know,
First.
Coach,
Never.
absolutely. I'm all the way in the back.
Are you Coach?
Yeah, I swear to God. You know, I've flown so much. I'm sure you can do this shit where you can fall asleep for a couple hours and look out the window and pretty much guess within 3 states where you're
Where
at.
you are?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You know the pattern where they're going to fly. Sometimes they go up into Canada. Most of the times they look down, can pick out the Great Lakes. I've actually gone and looked at ballparks and been like, that's got to be Cleveland. Where is it? There it is. There it is. There's the Jake. And right on the water is the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Virgin
awful.
Atlantic, they got the super economy, and it's a good deal.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, man.
As far as I'm concerned, if it wasn't for the wings, the back of the plane could fall off. I sat there for fucking the first 18 years of my career. I wouldn't care if literally if Zyklon B was dropped in the back of the plane. I should have quit one
Do you
joke.
always fly first?
I won't say always. No, shorter flights I won't. Like, Chicago, I won't spend that kind of money, or fucking Florida. Anything over 3 hours, I make myself do it. Because it's like I used to dread flying so much, and it became such an important part of my career. And now the gigs give you a partial buyout on the fucking flights.
$300 towards that $4,000 ticket.
Well, I make myself do it. It's a write-off.
Well,
Tax write-off.
when I had the last book out, they only had the money for the U.S. tour, but yet I would look and I would see that I was flying from Orlando, or I was flying from Kentucky to West Virginia via Atlanta when it was actually a 130 mile drive, and I would say, can I just drive this, and save you guys $500 or $600? But when it came to the budget, they said, no, we can't send you, we don't have the money to go to Canada. So I got a ticket for $120 round trip. Flew myself to England so I could do 3 dates in England because, I go out and if I've failed a lot, but I like to know if I fail, it's not for lack of trying. I don't want to be a guy sitting on the couch going, if I would have tried a little harder.
You had a $120 ticket to England?
No, 120 to Toronto and back.
Okay.
The UK, they get those super economies, which I would insist on. Like, I'm going out there. I'm doing 4 comedy shows in the UK in November, and I told the guy, okay, we don't know how this is going to go. Even though tickets, man, they're really. We sold all but 12 tickets in one day at the Leicester Square Theatre in London. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped about going there. But on the way back from my, self-paid UK tour, I saw that I could save money by ditching my super economy ticket and only pay like 40 extra bucks for the for the exit row. But it's a 747. The exit row was right in the middle of the plane, right next to the 6 toilets. So that every person on the plane who has to take a dump had to pass right by me. Literally, it was the worst 7 hours.
Oh, shit.
I would rather go through Hell in a Cell again than sit in that seat.
Bad.
It was just like, and I was also the
perpetual line
where there's no, the 6-7 people.
Yeah.
It opens up.
And then the reek that you just,
But Mick, here's
every
the thing.
time the door opens, it just stinks.
If you have a family and you're flying your family, that's
Right.
one thing. I understand it gets to be expensive, but it's a write-off. It's almost like when you're flying for work legitimately, and I only fly for work, it legitimately is a work expense, so you can write it off. So it's like, it's not.
Yeah, but it's only the tax on that money. So
No, I know, but I
is-
mean, it is something like I'm 43. I'm not fucking 18 and just wildly spending money. I'm fucking 43 years old,
He's
and I'm
convincing
tired
me.
of it.
I'm going to start doing it.
Dude,
But that's
you
the best part about traveling with Jim when we go to Comic-Con and stuff is we're hanging out together the whole time except we're boarding the plane and he goes, all right, Sam, see ya.
Later.
See you when the plane lands.
What the classic
And he's
relationship
sitting right up front.
You get on the plane.
See you
Jim already
later,
has the
Sam.
mud mask with the
Cucumbers
But I
his
flew
eyes.
coach for many years.
Yeah.
I fucking flew. I sweated the upgrades. I would call every fucking time for the upgrades. Believe me, I sat in the back for most of my life. So it's like,
I don't even call for the upgrades.
No?
now it's automatic.
I don't
Now,
even give a
can
fuck.
I
You're
ask
just like,
you-
fuck it, just get me point A to point B.
And this is specifically for Norton, because I think we're in the same boat here. There's this little part, you can agree or disagree, of me that really enjoys seeing how uncomfortable other first-class passengers get when they see they've got me next to them. Like, I'm like one of the guys they're specifically trying to avoid by going to first class.
Oh, you mean by the way you dress or
And
something?
by the way, Dress is just looking at me like, this is the type of person I was hoping not to sit next to in coach. That's why
He
I'm
definitely got upgraded.
to this day, one of the biggest compliments of my career is when I was upgraded to bit on the way back from Japan, where I'd had that death match. And I'd had so many places in my body stitched. It was the hand. It was the remaining ear had 14. I had 6 in the hand. I had 7 in the eyebrow. It was a total of 42 stitches in 6 different places. And while I was at the hospital, I didn't even realize that I'd been burned. I had 2nd-degree burns on most of my arm because that skin underneath is the same exact color. Like, there were so many other things that hurt that it wasn't until the next day I woke up and I saw that it was getting all crusty. And it was turning, and it was like
Your
brownish.
flesh, you mean?
Yeah, and because I'd had the stitches, I wasn't allowed to take the shower, and so I had just blood caked in my hair. I got the big patch on the eye. I mean, I love my eye was all swollen up from where it had been punched. I mean, I could not possibly look worse. And the lady in business sitting next to me, I mean, she looked like she needed that air sickness bag for real. And she got up to use the restroom. Like an hour later, I'm like, man, this is one long dump this lady's taking. I look in the back, and she was like snuggled up in a window seat in coach.
And Coach
had actually made the choice to move to coach.
to leave first
to get
class.
away from me, and I was like, I've still got it.
I could
Still
horrify,
got it, man.
I could still horrify people.
And now with this short hair and the clean,
I know, you're
I'm not
looking
likely
like,
to scare anybody.
Nah,
I look
you
like
just-
shit when I fly. Sweatpants and a fucking Aussie shirt. Yeah, I never care. I love the fact that you're wearing a suit on a fucking plane. You
with his
dildo.
tent, with his tent in his sweatpants,
Erection.
fucking half a
Do you know
rod.
how many fucking 3 day later I forgot I took a Cialis rods I've gotten on fucking aircraft? I actually have a blanket I fly with because I used to have to cover myself because I fucking piss so much. I'll put my hands down the front of my pants to keep the waistband and my sweatpants off my fucking bladder, and I always get very powerful rods on the plane.
Nice. Yeah, you remember when the part of the Mankind character was pulling the hair out and throwing it in the air? And I would actually, I'd pull the dead hair out and I would throw that up there. But to give the illusion that I was pulling by the roots, I would shave little divots out of my head, just kind of haphazardly. And the Undertaker told me, he was on a flight, and he said the guy next to me was just horrified while I was sleeping. And I said, why? Why is that? And he's got that deep voice. He's like, Jack. He still calls me Jack, the Cactus Jack is Jack. You have to understand. You've got 11 stitches in your head. You've got little areas of missing hair. You got a black eye. You have your shoes off, and you have a sock puppet with a happy face on your foot. And I think of all those things, it was the foot. I would reuse those sockos. I could write those off. I reuse them.
Jesus Christ, dude, that's like a sickness at this point.
Yeah, I was feeling
Does that
pretty
drive
good
your
about
wife crazy? Like that level of frugalness, I'll call it.
It's OCD, by the way. It's a piece of OCD.
Is it really?
Yeah, I believe so.
Just holding on to that money?
Oh, not being. There's a difference between being smart and been saving. And I try to fucking, again, I paid into my fucking principal because I hate giving the bank's interest. Like,
yeah.
And then there's a point of, well, I'm living life, and if I can afford a little bit of good stuff, you make life comfortable.
We'll go on a nice vacation. I just don't like having stuff.
But she probably gets so annoyed at you sometimes.
Is that what Brad Pitt said in Fight Club? You don't own your stuff.
Yeah, your stuff owns you.
Your stuff owns you.
But you know who convinced me? Fucking Louis. And I
was
were
just
talking.
a movie, Mick.
Yeah, exactly.
you can go out and get yourself a nice, comfortable bed. At some point, dude, the amount of punishment you've taken, you got to treat yourself.
I'm a 3-star man. I'll specify on my bookings. 3-star hotel.
3-star.
Yeah.
Don't need the 4
I
or
don't
5.
need the 4.
But you know what? Those nicer ones, they won't leave you alone.
Yeah, they're too nice.
Hello, Mr. Foley. We're just
What do you
calling to make
need?
sure everything's okay right as you start to fall asleep. And then they'll knock. Turn down service. It's like, do you have, can you just fuck off?
Louis told me that years ago, he told me that when he flies, he goes, he travels first and he stays in a suite and he doesn't give a fuck what it costs. He's like, just take it out of my pay. I don't fucking care.
Really?
Years ago. I mean, when he could afford it, but, it wasn't making what he's making now. And I just thought of that. And he's like, he just wants to enjoy that fucking traveling. When you travel for a living, shouldn't be a nightmare that you regret and go, oh, fuck, am I going to get out? Who am I stuck? It should be like a comfortable part of it because then you don't hate it as much.
Give me an Impala and a 3-star and I'm pretty good.
Look, if you're cool and you're comfortable, that's all that matters.
I was on a book tour in 2003, and the book tour, right? This is author talk here, so you might want to tune out.
Sure. Let me see who's
You
written
don't
books here.
get paid because you're promoting a project,
Right.
but they put you up in great hotels, take care of the food and everything. And after 3 weeks, my publicist called up and she said, "We're concerned that you're not eating." And I said, "No, I eat." She said, "We haven't seen a single charge." I said, "Well, I go across the street to the deli, or I get a protein bar, or I go fast food." She said, "We pay for this." And I said, "Listen, no disrespect, but I broke in a certain way, and I just can't pay $50 for scrambled eggs, no matter who's covering it. I can't do it, man."
You've said that before. That's a fucking OCD thing. There's a weird thing. It's like when you're in a casket, they're not going to put all you saved on top of you.
I don't know if this is because of the same reasons, but what grossed me out was before Mankind used the sock puppet, he had a glove over his 2 fingers they used to shove in everybody's mouth. And Mick, you put a bunch of stuff on eBay, and I was reading the descriptions, and one of it was the glove that covered your 2 fingers that you put in everybody's mouth. And on the auction, it said only 2 of these exist.
Yeah.
No,
That's why I was the least popular person in the dressing room for about a year.
Yeah, you'd keep shoving the same glove in every's mouth.
Sometimes I watched it, sometimes I didn't. You know what's funny is the hierarchy, in WWE and the locker room, I guess, as you call it, decorum. Is that the right word?
Sure.
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
Sure.
Is that like when I wrestled The Undertaker, it was always clean.
Well, I remember you doing it to The Undertaker and there being a loogie at the end of the glove.
Wasn't that his loogie?
Yeah, it was his loogie, but that means you put that glove into somebody else's.
Someone else's.
No, I would Purell it or whatever. I would use a clean sock every time I did the socko, except Mark Henry was new, and it didn't matter. He was the world's strongest man. And they asked me, did you use, like there was a word for it, like the gimmick sock or something like that. And I said, this point in his career, Mark Henry doesn't need to know there is a gimmick sock, like the one that was less ghastly. But my kids get on my case because my daughter, maybe it is OCD. Maybe I'll check it out, and she can't make sense of the fact that. She's like, Dad, you won't let us buy anything, and then you give all your money to kids in Africa.
Oh shit!
And I was like, I'm never going to answer that. One day you're going to come up to me and you're going to explain why it's different. It's hard for me to explain it. They've actually come up to me and talked about their inheritance. My kids.
Wow.
They're afraid I'm giving away my inheritance.
Elvis was very generous.
Like, how much you got left, Dad? What are you doing?
Elvis was very generous with strangers. There's a very famous story of him walking by the car dealership, and there was an old lady, and I guess I hope it's not an urban legend, where he saw an old lady looking at a Cadillac or whatever it was, and he goes, "You like that car?" And he bought it for her. He was weird like that, but around his own people, he was horribly cheap. He paid them very, very low, which just breeded resentment from people who fucking cared about him and took care of him.
Is that right? I've seen her. One time, he'd fly him to go get fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah,
Like
I'm not saying he wasn't
people to go-
extravagant and weird, but I heard he paid very cheap. And it's almost like the ego feed of giving to others was like a big ego feed, but like with the people who are already there. And I hope that's not just an urban legend.
So you're saying I give money for the ego feed?
No. Charity's a little different, though. No, I'm not saying that.
Africa is about Mick.
Yeah. Giving money to charity and starving people is not. I think that classifies as just being a good guy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're wrong to do that.
Well, Mick,
Can I ask Mick a question?
No,
I'm sorry. Before I forget.
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Jimmy. I'm sorry for.
Sam, Sam is obsessed with wrestling paraphernalia and stuff, and I know you've sold a lot. Do you have anything? It doesn't have to be ring or something that is yours that he can have.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It should be something special, and it should be something that he would have to frame and hang in his living room, because his girlfriend will hate that he has to hang something framed in the living room. But it should be something you have to display in the living room.
Hopefully giant.
The next time I'm on, I will bring something special just for Sam.
Yeah, because nobody is more supportive of the art than Sam,
Right.
and he can't afford to buy this stuff like on eBay. He can't afford it.
You don't know how many times I checked the eBay auction prices on those boots.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, look, I work here. I'm not making enough money to pay $3,000 for Cactus Jack boots.
Yeah, we raised 20 grand with my good stuff for rain.
Damn.
And my kid's like, who would buy that? Like, I'm putting up a past of Whitewater from 1996, and my son was like, who would buy that? And that was like the first thing, and it ended up selling for $100.
Were you poor when you grew up? I think I've asked you that before. I don't remember.
You know what? I didn't feel like I was poor. My dad had a good job. He was an athletic director. It wasn't until years later that I realized that other people heated their homes. Like my friends would go out
Are you
and they would
shitting
be
me?
bundled up. Like we had it on 56. Growing up, 56, no AC.
56?
56.
No
That's
AC?
My mom. Yeah, no AC.
You don't do that
in
to your
summer.
kids, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I remember when we finally moved in a house that had central air conditioning. Then my parents were so conservative; they wouldn't turn it on. It drove me nuts.
You know how many
They would
fights I
leave
had
it-
with my mother for that?
They would leave it at like 74. Well, keep it. It was just enough to be fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah. I would go to bed.
It's fine.
I would turn the AC on when I went to bed at like 4 in the morning, and I would just hear the shitty bedroom door open an hour later, and then my mother heard it, and then I would hear like,
And turn it down. Then you wake up all hot. Shit, fuck that. I need the bedroom like a refrigerator.
Yeah.
It's got to be really
We had
fucking cold.
my parents in our house. They had an air conditioner in their room, so sometimes we can go in and watch a TV show and cool off, and then it'd be back to my room with the little window fan.
The fan.
Fan,
Oh, great.
yeah.
You got it. Make funny sounds into it.
We got a plug tonight, right? Mick tonight.
Yeah.
Mick is
The Brokerage. BrokerageComedy.com in Long Island. 8 o'clock show tonight only. Bill, of course, Stress Factory tomorrow through Sunday. Those shows will sell out, so call for tickets. 732-545-4242 and Carnegie Hall in November.
November 11th.
So, yeah. So if you can't see Bill this weekend.
Carnegie Hall?
Yep.
It's one of the satellite ones. It's up in. I'm playing Carnegie up in Albany.
See, I was playing the Carnegie Deli once.
Oh, shit.
Carnegie Hall?
Yeah, that's pretty fucking huge, man.
man.
Yeah, that is a biggie.
See that?
That's
And you
gonna
can
be
still
nice.
dress like this.
I know.
That is
Like,
right there.
gonna
It's right there.
All right, Jimmy, anything else as far as a plug goes, or anything you want to say? Get out, because
love a blowjob.
Like 10 after. Right, we'll work on that.
If
after
you want to stick
the show.
around for the after show.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the after show.
You know, Mick's been invited to stick around for the after
please.
show.
Why would he?
His show, it's a good show.
Like, I wouldn't
Sticking
know
around for a little
that.
while, then I have to enroll my kids in school.
I guess that's
And
fair
I've got to
enough.
go somewhere to do something with
There you go.
someone.
How long are you in town for?
I fly out tomorrow. I'm flying to Bangor, Maine, and driving to New Brunswick, St. John, New Brunswick. And this is a deal where the guy could have, I could have glass, and instead I booked a $579 round trip because I like to drive, man. I like that. It's about 5 hours from Bangor to New Brunswick.
And you just
I'll
fucking
get in an Impala, play some tunes, a little Tori Amos to
cruising.
get
You're
me
going to get a
going.
Chevy Impala commercial out of
I
this.
know, really.
A little Tori Amos to get you going?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, anytime I
Is that
start,
why you drive? Because you want to stop over at the rest areas? Wink, wink. Nick, I'm disappointed.
I play some sort of fairy tale, like when I'm in a really good mood on the road. It gets me going,
Wow, you are an eclectic guy.
It's a very all the wrestlers we've mixed them one I find most interesting.
Yeah.
all the wrestlers.
There we
yeah.
go, Sammy.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
he's hearing it.
Oh
Yeah, look at this.
Oh yeah.
Now all we need is an Impala and a long road.
Yeah, and some fucking some estrogen.
Sing it, Tori.
Well, let's leave you with this then.
Yes.
As long as E-Rock wants to keep playing it. And thank you, of course, Mick and Bill. Always a pleasure, as they say.
Nice to be here.
And I
Thanks for
just
having me.
want you guys to vouch for me. Not a single orgasm on
No,
my
no,
leg
you were
this
clean
time
today.
around. Clean.
Yeah.
All clean.
Just
Don't
keep,
have
keep
to-
the porn stars out of.
Well,
out of it's the things I can rationalize.
yeah, we'll
on
keep
this
you. We'll
show.
try to keep you out of trouble.
No,
All right,
I want to
thank
see Mick get divorced just to watch him go through the process of watching her get all the money.
Oh man,
That would
oh
be
my
great.
God, frugality to just get taken like that. Oh, that would be horrible.
She would buy a big house and all kinds of expensive
Oh,
things.
he get the
Yeah.
lowest, he get the cheapest lawyer in the fucking phone book.
I'd represent myself.
Yes, I'm going to be
Yeah.
representing myself. A fool for a client. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming by. Of course, Sam Roberts.
Stay tuned for the big
after show.
Big after show.
Big after show.
With Sam Roberts.
Aftershock.
Anything
Yeah.
with the following the word after is not pleasant, right? It's the
Afterbirth,
afterbirth.
after.
Well, afterbirth may be pleasant.
After
Anthony
hours. I kinda like the fact that it is-
pro-abortion. He's,
I think I like
he
the
took
fact
that stand earlier.
Yes, I took that stance earlier. But I like the fact that it's like afterbirth. Like our show is like the nice baby, and then after that just comes this mucky crap that is your show.
And then it gets marketed as cosmetics. Did you know that?
Oh yeah. They
Makes
love
people beautiful.
rubbing that
They
shit on
do,
their
yeah.
face.
People rub the
Yeah,
afterbirth
that's
in their
great.
face. Yeah.
Just call it aftershock.
Yeah,
You know, a
it-
couple of shock jocks. You get it?
If you look
Aftershock.
Aftershock.
Then where were you when I started doing this show?
I'm not
Aftershock.
out to name names of cosmetic companies, but there is a very high-end brand that has the phrase "human placental protein,"
Yeah.
which is actually just afterbirth.
And it's delicious.
So you have the cosmetics
Fry
people
that up.
coming into the.
Dude, you really are a ghoul.
It's horrible.
Yeah, you get a rub.
It's delicious.
Looks like that thing from Alien that's stuck on the guy's face and wraps that umbilical cord around their neck.
Yeah.
Needs that shit.
Should be in the Aliens movie, right?
Exactly. And on that note,
Thanks, Chip.
why
Thanks
you
for
people
bringing it
trying to
home.
keep me here longer? All right, good
Hey, wait,
afternoon,
Bill.
morning,
Bill
everybody.
Burr,
No,
what
I'm
are you,
not-
cold or
I'm not-
something?
Oh, Burr. I guess. See you tomorrow. Jesus. The Sam Roberts Show can do whatever it wants.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't care.